Good morning, Krusty Crew. Just kidding, it's not actually morning, unless you're one of our listeners dialing in from New Brunswick or maybe Nova Scotia. So if you happen to be calling in from Skull Lake, Nova Scotia, this one goes out to you. Anyway, I'm Rogue, and we're here with the RGL Invite Sixes Season 18 match, where I'm joined by Wild Rumpus. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to a lot of TF2 tonight, actually. We got a double header, and I believe Froyo is playing both of them. Going to be against Legacy and then against Mama's Boys.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Yeah, this is a big lead up here for us, leading into the RGL LAN going on just next week. We are now, what is it, almost 7 days away, basically 1 week away, where basically Friday until Sunday in Philadelphia, we're going to be seeing the top 4 North American Sixes teams duke it out and play for all the marbles here. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what they have to show for us in preparation for that event here tonight.
Yeah, true. This is sort of a preview of that, I suppose. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, no matter what. And I gotta see as well here. So I haven't casted Legacy since they were Jiminy, and of course they had a pretty big roster switch up since then. I don't know if you have anything you can tell us about that, because it looks like their record since then has been shaky-ish. Actually, maybe not. Maybe it's been great. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Well, yeah, we're in the right place. I was lucky enough to cast them last night, and honestly, I like, you would never have guessed watching them that they had any roster changes at all, specifically because the number one reason they took the win over Froyotech yesterday was their calls. Like, their coordination, the way these players fit together was the difference maker in that match. So if chemistry is what you need for a team just coming together, they've got that in spades.
Yeah, true. And that was on Metal, whereas we are now on Process, which is definitely going to be a little different. Going to be a much faster pace, all things considered. So there's going to be that to factor in. But if a team really likes momentum and really likes sort of pushing the pace like Legacy does, then that could benefit them. We'll end up having to see. But yeah, do you have any predictions for what the matchup's going to look like? Do you think Freya's going to do better, going to do worse? What's the Banny adjustment going to be like?
Ooh, you know what, Rumpus? That's a really good point. Like, these teams have been playing TF2 for so long, playing together for so long. Yeah, the adjustments, like, you kind of favor the underdog on the rematch just because they have a lot more to learn, a lot more to, like, adjust and adapt, right? You get a better record of what didn't work, so now you just don't do that, and the dubs start rolling in, right? I don't know, though, to be honest. The poise I saw out of Legacy last night, I might even go for them still here on Process here. Maybe like a 4-3, you know, a pretty close game maybe, but I don't know. I really like what I saw out of them yesterday.
It's so hard to tell whether Process is a high-scoring map or not, because it is a map that you see plenty of your 5-0s on, unlike a map like Metal, where you really have to be, like, much, much better at the other team, particularly in mids for something like that. But it's not, like, it still trends towards low scoring sometimes. I mean, you've definitely had, or seen Process halves where you have, you know, a lot of sniper into last, a lot of maybe mid to last opportunities that are a little too slow to actually capitalize, things like that. So actually, like, predicting the score can be tough. But as far as who matches up better here, it is kind of in the air, I would say. Obviously, scouts are a big deal on Process, and there isn't too much to glean between Habib and Banny versus Gungan and Kobe. Both are all teams, and all players involved are just fantastic there.
Yeah, amen to that. And we do have a quick, we actually did happen to go live. Whoops, there we go. Now we're heading live in just a little bit. But actually the players basically, someone on roulette was AFK. But okay, it looks like we're maybe 60 seconds out or so from the game going live here.
Yep. Now, who do you want to keep your eye on this mid? Because, oh, actually, interesting. So, I know that Lolgai was playing a fair bit of demo, and was on demo in the pregame, but is currently on med. I was looking forward to seeing the Lolgai demo on mid, actually, because Yeah, the Lol Guy demo's been pretty nice, I'll say. It's kind of surprising, because, like, invite players will, when they come, they just play off classes and whatnot and have, you know, that pocket demo or pocket scout, in, for example, Kobe's case. But it isn't until they're actually in a match setting that you really decide whether they're actually good on that class or not, because pugs are one thing, but actually playing the match and doing well in the class in an organized setting is another one.
Amen to that. I always think about like how well players lose as well as an important one. You know, like, of course, like if you go off and you get a ton of points, then great. But if you don't, what does it look like for you to still contribute to the game and get a win for your team, for the players that are turned on that night? But hey, here we go. We're live in the match. We have Froyotech versus Legacy here on Process.
Yes. I hear lock and load as well. We got Sai here on mid versus Logan. Neither demo gonna be getting damage on the other quite yet. And both teams just setting up their positioning, getting players healthy. We do see a bomb in from Laz going behind Sewer. Gonna try to be followed up by Patty, who fades away. And Sai finding a kill onto Habib. However, Logan picks up Sai, and yeah, the picks are now going in favor of Froyo for sure. Fanny finding one, Laz finding one from behind. And Patty, after that fade bomb, able to get back in, find another kill. So it's just Lol Guy getting out. Kobe dying in choke. Lol Guy finds a kill, but not going to be enough. And Froyo all the way pushed up in lobby. Some of those players very dominant mid, setting themselves up nicely for a potential round here.
I love mentoring here in TF2, and I have a free one for everyone in chat. If yeah, you're the med who you know, has that 1v1 at the end, you got to make sure you type in team chat. At least I got mine. Really tilt the rest of your teammates. But hey, listen, don't hate the player, hate the game. Full ad for Hubert, working our way into this choke, and actually literally nobody from the side of Legacy and Froyo don't know that yet. Habib here, you know, following the namesake of the scout, scouting it out and finding absolutely nothing here. So that's a free cap and going to get ready for last.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing that Legacy really gains from trying to fight 2 there, because they're just going to assume it's being held, in all honesty. Finding a kill, however, on Banny as the Uber gets popped is quite nice. That's only 1 scout for the attacking team. However, Kobe dying to the Uber evens out those numbers. Looks like Red trying to get out of their left spawn. No real cap pressure yet, but picks are starting to come in. Yeah, these soldier bombs doing quite well for Froyotech. It is just up to Lol Guy and Zam. Lol Guy goes down. Zam way too weak to do anything here. And it will be a relatively comfortable Uber there from Froyo. Things were a little shaky at the very start with Banny dying to, I presume, a trap. But the commit was nice. The soldiers just found their kills. And it was just smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, absolutely clinical. Honestly, the Legacy backup to last isn't the worst idea, but the reason you don't do that all the time is because you let the medic come into last with full ad and you don't get yours yet. Even if you just buy the time, at least Lol Guy might have had Uber, but not this time. Here we go into mid number 2.
Looks like both teams sort of meeting on the same side, actually. Hubert rotating back a little bit, Habib getting aggressive across the point, in fact. Sai gets landed on and killed by Laz, who actually gets out cleanly, and that's 3, make that 4 down for Legacy. Lol Guy is looking caught, but with Laz going down behind and the scout speed, he should be able to get out just fine. So at least it's even Ubers now, but yeah, Froyo momentum, to say the least. Curious to see if Patty wants to send a sack or something, do something while there isn't a sentry gun set up yet, but there's also not players alive necessarily for Froyo. But Gungan getting quite aggro there. It's trapped off and killed in 1.
Yeah, this, you know, basically if Legacy gets the first pick there, they have a, you know, 6v5 fight into second where, like, you're on the back foot, but numbers add, so it's middling. Here instead, they basically had an even trade. That means you're going to back up to last with these even full Ubers.
And they actually just get through the doors. Patty does go down, but trades out with Zam. Sai is now here, spamming out those doors, and finds 2 kills, actually. Habib and... Wait, that's a Hubert drop. I did not see that. That happened in lobby between 3 and 4. Fantastic job there from Sai, and now Legacy really just have to wait out the storm, wait out the feeders, and then slowly but surely push their way out. Just make sure they're not getting backcapped, because 2 shouldn't have too much resistance.
Alert.
Yeah, this is always a fun one. Like, oh, Habib in the shutter, going for the shot. Nice headshot onto Zam. And wow, Long Guy actually getting the counter snipe there on Habib with the crossbow.
Yeah, no fear at all. Well, still ad now for Legacy. They're going to try to go through Choke. Benny is close. Double bomb towards Choke. Laz commits. Uber gets popped. Are they going to find kills? Speedy is 1v1ing Laz on the back lines, but a little too weak to really commit to that fight. Laz going to be jumping around behind. Only kill in the Uber was on Banny. They can find this last pick. That's plenty of compensation. They're trying to collapse here, but Laz just ratting around for packs. In the meantime, Choke is kind of being busted here by Froyo. Hubert at 85%, close to getting Uber, not quite having yet. But yeah, we'll see if the Laz behind plus Disad works out for Froyo.
Yeah, such a headache having Laz that far back. Hubert staying in and kind of milking for a while. They actually lose two. Laz and Habib both down. Well, Laz on the back lines, of course, but right now, nice shot from Banny taking down Kobe. So the Uber gets forced, but there's honestly not that many players alive for Legacy. So maybe we'll just even out here in the choke here with Lol Guy and a massive ad.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know how Lol Guy lived that actually, because he was just completely exposed to the Laz bomb behind, who got a really nice rocket off, but just hit a gray surf and was able to, on single digits, somehow evade the pistol fire. And Froyo didn't take their Uber aggressively, at least not in that timing, so despite Lol Guy kind of surfing forward, was not able to get caught. So we do have an IT pop through here. Beeb is in sewer on Sniper, but got out fast enough that probably not caught to the Uber. It's looking like another flip-flop. This time with the Sniper, going to be a little difficult to get through for Froyotech, especially if you keep catching a pipe there. Banny eating a ton of damage in the choke point, so we might just see a pop through here from Froyo.
Let's see, they have such a good distance to cover coming in through this choke point, right? Like, it's either all or nothing. And look at, they have all 6 players here, well 5. Habib on the long angle as Sniper as well, going to, like, for the first engage. Misses the shot, but Patty and Banny are through.
Yeah, and this is where the Sniper's a little less... Oh my god, Hubert dropping and choke. The 2-rocket from Sam. As I was saying, yeah, this is definitely when having a Sniper is a little bit less desirable, I'll say. Because Habib, very nice to have on that long sideline when it's Uber Disad, but when you have Uber Advantage trying to push into process mid, you just don't really have good angles to take space with. You're more of a liability, and on top of that, the other team knows you're on Sniper, which means your flank is extremely shovable. You have to be very careful with how you proceed. And Legacy pretty much just showing that off as they put themselves in a position to maybe tie things up here.
Yeah, Habib is still on... oh no, he did switch over to the heavy here. So you have a massive ad. Let's see where Lol Guy and Psy Guy want to take this one. They still have a little bit of time, so it's nice, you know, take this breath, see that Habib is in heaven. Okay, the sentry gun is on the right side. But they are kind of running out of time right now. Hubert on 60%, and we have not gone yet. I guess you lost Gungan in the like, you know, basically peeking into last. But 5 versus 6 with ad versus 6 versus 6 no ad. I'd kind of like to push if I'm me.
Yeah, they choose to just play at evens, and honestly, I imagine that some element of that was maybe Hubert wasn't building the whole time, because with those kind of margins, sometimes you just aren't going to be building the whole time. You focus more on the building when you're expecting things to even out. It's not necessarily the case here, but yeah, especially losing your pocket scout. Yeah, this is like the first time that you're kind of in the driver's seat. It's fine to want to just keep a hold of the momentum and just kind of cook for a bit, as we do see the cooking happening with a nice headshot onto Logan, gonna open things up a bit.
A great shot from Gungan, and wow, another one onto Habib. There's 3 down now for Froyotech, so 5 versus 3 coming into last. Lol Guy still on this Uber. Gungan going for another little tickle there. Speedy going in kind of ahead of the team, but finally Laz taken out in turn.
Yeah, and Hubert with another drop. Did not realize that Gungan was peeking through 5, and that was just Logan. This is just a round. That is remarkable. I mean, the pressure there was already fantastic. Froyo was just looking for an excuse to use Uber, to be honest. Down 3 with just that much pressure mounting. But ended up, yeah, not working out. I will say, though, the fact that Hubert had to drop 3 full times just for Legacy to get 1 round doesn't necessarily bode too well for them, to be honest.
I love voting well. Here we are on mid number 3. The score is all tied up 1-1. And let's see, we had some explosive mids coming out of Froyotech. Let's see what they have to show for us this time. It's kind of the call before the storm. Here comes Laz.
Oh, what a rocket onto Gungan. Might win this 1v1. That is just scout privilege. That is horrible to see. And winning a fight against Habib as well. Patty finally gets the kill onto Gungan, and he's unable to find that second rocket to clean up in sewer. But it doesn't matter. It's only a demo and a medic with a combined 100 HP, so will be easy cleanup for the remaining 4 members of Froyotech. Yet again, in a potential full ad scenario here, Kobe actually going for an aggressive sniper timing, I'll say. You would expect your flying scout to spawn engineer as that first spawner, but Kobe going sniper instead. It will be Gungan on engineer. That being said, because 2 is just not really being capped, the timing there doesn't matter. It's going to be a level 3 gun regardless. But yeah, we'll see what Froyo can do with this Uber.
This 100%, we have only 30 on lol, guys, so it's going to come down to this sentry gun, coming down to the Psy sticky traps here, watching these doorways. Here comes the Uber through 4.
Takes out the gun. Decent cap time. Zam going to be bombing in. Actually, Speedy goes down. However, the Heavy finds Habib. Side-eye means no stickies for the point and no demo to shoot at it. With 2 soldiers on Froyo, this is looking pretty good. Yeah, the Heavy just getting focused down there from Patty in Heaven and Laz bombing across. It's just low guy now. Pretty easy cleanup there. And Froyo, again, just very standard, comfy push. They took the time they needed to get their soldiers in position to deal with they needed to, as in the Heavy, and it just all went smoothly from there.
Yeah, these Froyotech mids are really like, I was gonna say half the battle, but honestly more. If anyone, there was this whole thing that like calculated your odds of winning the game and like winning mid with all different players left alive. Like your odds of winning the round are so high if you win the mid. But look at this double bomb out of Legacy. Speedy and Zam both flying through the sky. Here we still have full HP and Long Guy just getting WM1'd by Habib. Goes down for it. We still have Hubert on full HP. Here comes Zam and does get the mid. Okay, no medics on the board.
Yeah, that was the kill that needed to happen because Legacy were without a doubt going to be losing that mid after the counter bombs and counter aggression from Habib and Laz. Got a lot of value on Legacy, particularly like their combo, finding Low Guy. So from that position, you kind of can't win the mid, and being able to find Hubert there is really, really important. And it's the only reason that Legacy are not only not disad here, but not on their last either. They're able to fight second here. And yeah, we'll see even Ubers.
Yeah, this defense here on second, we have the whole team kind of playing on this high ground here, where you're ready to like engage aggressively. Oh, but wait a sec, we have the Hubert crits. Thank you very much to our esteemed producer, the eagle-eyed, well, the dolphin-eyed dolphin. Thanks. So 90% here in this choke.
Yes.
Let's see if they know.
It looks like it will be Logan peeking from Al Qaeda. Actually, is an interesting enough door. They're taking their space. They do pop, and they find Low Guy with that first sticky. And so far, okay, Hubert goes down, so there won't be round implications necessarily. And in fact, there aren't even point implications because the rest of Froyo just explode. And it's just Vanny alive. Now, granted, never mind. I was gonna say, granted, everyone on red is pretty weak, so a scout could theoretically win the 1v4, as crazy as it sounds. That would be like noteworthy in a clip, but no, it will just be Zam shutting down Vanny.
So that's these fans having an absolute feast of saying granted there. You gave them exactly what they want.
I didn't even realize.
You got to give the people what they want. We're putting on a show at the end of the day. You get one for the night, all right? Anyway, yeah, that's the thing about the crits. Like, in Uber, you know, you think it's, like, really powerful, but it's kind of the opposite. It actually prevents the damage from happening. So, like, even if you get this clutch pick on the medic, it's like, well, yeah, but the rest of our team can get torn to shreds. So, honestly, like, surgical precision out of Logan, really well played, but I think we see why the medigun is sort of the dominant choice, most likely.
Yeah, and also just taking that fight so aggressively after finding the one pick you were looking for is, like, kind of risky in a way you don't necessarily need to be, because you can just wait out their buffs, you can just poke and prod and, you know, force the other team back with spam. You don't need to take a crazy fight where the heal advantage for your team is the least relevant, right?
That's right now. Yeah, this I kind of love these slow peaks out of sewer here, right? Where like Speedy can go at any time, and they all kind of know he's there. But Law Guy's here with the heals, so like you can never be completely ready for Speedy, and Speedy just waits. You know, let everyone shoot all their shots. Maybe wait till someone's backing up to get ammo. But here we go. Laz kind of finding the space. Patty following as well, but they trade even.
Yeah, and Patty in some danger here, but that is actually Logan finding the kill with the lock and load on Zam. So down 2 soldiers for Legacy. Benny trying to peek choke here. This is potential exchange territory, and actually going to be Kobe taking a 1v1 on the flank wins it. That is definitely a nice asset to have in this fight in particular. Uber gets popped. Patty's going to be dying for it. Now down 2, and Uber still gets used from Hubert. This is now looking very bad for Froyo. They're absolutely going to have to leave. At the very least, the silver lining is that they used later, which is going to give them a buffer to get out. But Logan dying as well. Things are falling apart for Froyo. They're going to have to leave. Oh, Lolguy surviving the last attempt on his life as well is quite nice. And with Banny behind, we might even see some pressure in front.
I love when a vocal player gets behind. They can call their pressure. They know they're going to orchestrate around their team. Here's Banny screaming like, they're in one, and behind them, 2-shot Lolguy. There it is. Well played.
Yeah, no one was looking out for that. And that's kind of surprising because, I mean, you know he's behind. So why is, you know, your combo in one with no one to watch their backs? And more players are actually going to go down, in fact. Things not looking good for Legacy. What was a pretty strong position. I mean, like 40 ad, and actually, Hubert may have lived there. Based on his percent, I think he did live. So still, even Eaters with some picks, guy behind. Still a position you'd like to have, but nonetheless, with Lolguy going down, it will be Disad here on mid.
100%, and again with these, let's see, it's 4 players in choke this time, kind of waiting for the green light. Someone give that 3-2-1 and you all blast forward. Habib trying to draw the attention. There comes Logan, but juggled in choke. Banny can't close the distance. It's only Patty so far, but goes down for it. Can't reach him in time, and there goes Lolguy on 70% getting out to second.
Yeah, and the nice thing about that Uber as well, from Legacy's perspective, is that it was kind of slow for a pop through. Oh, and they find another 2 kills in choke. It's looking great. Habib goes down. Lolguy now getting Uber. Hubert is trying to run away in IT, getting chased down by Kobe. Logan is here. Is Logan enough to defend? He does go down, but it will be Patty on the spawn, able to keep Hubert alive, but still full disad for Froyotech. And yeah, because that was just a pop through, which is a plan you can normally do pretty fast, they took their time on it, and it gave Lolguy a lot of time to build Uber and be at like 70%, which had potential repop implications. Of course, as we saw, things went differently.
I feel like, look at Hubert now on 75, building it so well. Lolguy finally using, here we go, taking Gungan in through main, blasting everyone, blasting the upper area, wide open, and Hubert going down to the lock and load. Really nice play from Sai.
Gun is still up though, and actually stays up. Sam dies to it. Yeah, a little overzealous there from Legacy. I mean, we saw that Sai just did not try to get the gun at all, which is usually a demo's role, but it's not a misplay necessarily because he found Hubert, of course, which just means you have to play the last differently than you would normally, as in you got to take your time and make sure that gun gets spammed down before your flank tries to get in, before soldiers try and bomb and everything like that. But Legacy just tried to play it like a standard Uber that it wasn't, and kind of threw away a good position.
Wow, this is so in favor of Froyotech. It feels like the damage is crazy, but I guess the numbers out is not in their favor. Sai Guy is low, Speedy's okay, but again, Patty now going down. Wait a second, we lose Speedy, sure, but Gungan is in at full HP. Logan is low, Sai Guy's low. Oh, that's
Hubert's
a nice shot.
weak as well. He's like very chaseable. Even pistol spam, yeah, actually just goes down to the pistol. I think there was an arrow mixed in there as well because his health dropped pretty quickly. And knowing that Vanny's the only one alive, everyone else is spawners, you can really imagine just how far he can run and where he can be, but a lot of the map is quite safe to get through pretty quickly. And get through quickly, Legacy will. Full ad now with Hubert spawning. We have a gun and a heavy on Froyotech. Looks like Legacy want to take lobby, probably just take a standard 3 or 4 Uber, depending on where the gun is at.
Yeah, let's see that adaptation here, right? Like, what are they going to do to get the gun this time? Because, yeah, I love the way basically they opened up the fight last time, but here we go. Scout demo and, oh, the lock and load into the gun. Yes, of course, you know, the massive damage explosives, but wait a second. Habib full buff, peeking out of heaven now. Sai is so low, Gungan so low.
What a bow. But yeah, Habib finds a kill there as well. Does finally go down to the lol guy arrow, but if that heavy went down just a little sooner, then things would be a lot cleaner here. It's still up in the air. Okay, it's not up in the air anymore. Kobe and Zam both just going down. But yeah, Hubert with a really clutch arrow there onto Habib. Again, as I said, the heavy going down would make things a lot easier for Legacy, and I don't think Gungan would have died. I don't think Sai or Lol Guy would have died.
Yeah, I have to give such a shout out to the chemistry there. Whoa, Lazard, real quick. Wait a second. Oh, tried to go for the fast pick on a Lol Guy, but yeah, they're just hard committing. Wait a second. Speedy take it down. Lol Guy is surrounded on all sides. Yeah, wow, just put him through the blender here. Habib and Bandy saying, like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. We're charging forward. We can win this, and we will win this. Let's go. Kobe's the last one alive, 30 HP.
Yeah, should get shut down here, considering that there's a scout on the field. And actually, Habib winning that 1v1 against the full HP Gungan. Gonna give him a boost of confidence to maybe take the 1v1 against the not full HP Kobe, but instead, it was a 2v1. Habib actually kind of angry about that in chat. Yeah, notably in that fight, Zam finding Hubert, very important pick to get, because again, things were not looking good at all for Legacy. I mean, they were just down players, Lol Guy caught, Lol Guy dying, and being able to convert that situation into basically a reset where you don't even have to give up the point, honestly, plenty of compensation.
Yeah, I love this, like, you know, we talked a lot yesterday actually about like Froyotech didn't really have a lot of aggressive plays, or like when they did it was almost like cheap plays. This I think was so strong, like let's leverage our DM in a way that, like, you know, the odds are slightly in our favor, let's snowball that into a bigger play. And like now, like exactly like you said, when it doesn't work, it's not that bad. So that's almost every fight you wish you could take is, hey, if it works, then we'll do really well. If it doesn't work, not a big deal.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a fight like that can, in many cases, just convert into a round, like your team wiping on mid, where a team already has momentum into mid. But, and actually Habib going down here to some stickies on the pressure. It's going to open things up for the Zam bomb. Some damage on Hubert, 100 HP left. Laz actually going to be bombing Zam, and does go down, so it's a trade. 2 for 2. No soldiers on the red team, so they might be a little discouraged from sacking, considering that just running a scout in going to be a little slow, a little easy to react to, as opposed to a soldier bomb. Froyo peek and choke a little bit for counter-sack pressure, but decide to call that off as well. And with no sniper, it looks like on either team, going to be resetting.
This, let's see, how much round time is left? Just under 8 minutes, so the score is currently 2-1 in favor of Froyotech. Right now, Legacy here trying to initiate in the second. I love this play. Like, you rotate the heels to the flank, try and overload those 1 or 2 people who are scouting it out. But actually, no one's here. They just go.
Yeah, forcing a lot of flashes as well. Speedy bombed in and does go down. A nice rocket from Patty, in fact. And, in fact, oh, Low Guy dies in the post as well. This is looking very bad now for Legacy. Like, horrible, actually. Can Kobe find Hubert? He's in on him. Yeah, just not enough damage. And kind of nightmare exchange. I mean, Freyr just played it well. Obviously, when you take an Uber exchange, the defending team is usually pretty favored. But, I mean, Legacy forced so many flashes that I feel like you can at least force favorable positioning with the fact that your Uber is likely to be longer if you're Legacy. So if, like, Speedy is bombing in, demanding a force, and then dying anyway, or demanding a flash and dying anyway, then, I don't know, things could go differently. That being said, Hubert only at 80% now, and Hubert's actually, I don't know, 40 dissets, 40 disset. That checks out, as we actually see a gun on the right shutter. Pretty non-standard position for that.
Hubert uses so early, actually, here. They used it in lobby. It's already over. They just got to the point now. It's Bandy, it's Logan. Bandy getting some of that early cap time, drawing Speedy directly to point. Oh, Sai gets Goomba stomped and, like, takes crater damage from getting a rocket to the top of the head. 80% on Lol Guy. There's 3 that are leaving back to second here. Hubert on full, both soldiers half. But right now, it looks like Legacy are trying to get on this point to get some cap time down.
Yep, Hubert and 2 soldiers is chaseable if Legacy had more players alive, but they kinda didn't. So just playing the safer push out and just playing the ad into mid makes a lot more sense. Speedy bombs through, gets body shot, might get cleaned up here, does in fact by that same sniper. And you have to wonder what you do if your Legacy... Ooh, Gungan dying as well. I was gonna suggest maybe just popping through because that's such a standard thing for teams to do against a sniper. But instead, with the repeat, losing another player, finally Habib pays for his sins. But Ubers are close to even now with Kobe just running in and dying. Oh, and Lol guy's getting forced. This is bad.
Yeah, I love this, like, Froyotech. We talked about, like, what changes are they going to bring to this map? Number one, the mids are phenomenal. Number two, this, like, they're playing so hot, it feels like, right? You know, they get a little opening and they press it immediately without thinking, and which I love. Like, you can see how well it's paying off here, and here comes the Uber from Hubert. Speedy kind of caught in, Zan kind of caught in, but there goes Sai. Losing your demo man, you know, that's the, well, second worst play to lose here, but oh my, Lol guy coming back in with Gungan. This is a head scratcher for me. Lol guy getting ripped to shreds here, but wait a second, Banny, okay, finally taken down. Now that I say it, hang on, that recommit from both soldiers, like, show your med, make the enemy team, like, look at the medic basically, and then have your soldiers collapse on the back line. Really well done.
Yeah, and depending on how fast they can cap, we're going to see potentially 3 denies here, which would be fantastic for Legacy, and in fact they do secure that. Now, they do have to watch out for this sniper again. Did Habib get spotted? Because he's in the forwards, kind of a tricky angle to spot, but the flank clears him out, so the little guy going to be relatively safe, but I think catching a pipe there makes things a little scary. Nonetheless, 80 ad now. And nothing stopping Legacy from just Ubering into last. Again, we have a gun-heavy hold. Let's see if things can go differently for Legacy this time.
Wow, okay, here comes the full ad push. Log guy going in. Gun goes down. Okay, not Gungan goes down, just the regular sentry gun. Sai guy in heaven there. Habib gets taken out. Sai is super low. Laz does manage to get him. Log guy here meeting up with Gungan. You love tanking scouts in this post Uber because, you know, once everyone's hurt, they can clean up. But here on process, the resupply is so close that, like, you know, these soldiers go back, hit the resupply cabin at the back with 200 HP. Like, not much they can do.
Yeah, and another hold from Froyo. This time around, the heavy did go down and was the main focus of the Uber. Honestly, the Uber seemed fine. It's just that Laz and Patty were able to get relatively clean bombs off onto the post-Uber combo. But nonetheless, because Lol guy lived, it is ad yet again. And in fact, it's quite a bit of ad. I was expecting more in like the 30-40 range. But no, it's closer to 60%. So we might just see a repeat. It looks like the exact same setup from Froyo, down to even like the gun seems to be on the same tiles even.
Let's see if we see this time. Here's the demo scout into the sentry gun goes down. Let's see, we got our demo in heaven, and that's kind of it so far. They're going to peek for the far side of heaven, but actually getting drawn to the point so fast, there's so much cap time. But again, this full HP heavy, it's like, you know, it feels like every time Legacy is taking these fights into last, they get 2 of the important things, but not 3. Like, they have to get picks and the heavy, but not the sentry. Or they get the sentry and the heavy, but not the rest of the players. Like, every time, Froyotech has an answer.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they weren't on the same page there, because they definitely tried a different idea with early cap pressure, given that the soldiers, you know, weren't bombing point last Uber, they were bombing the combo. Kobe getting shut down there from a trap. Oh, they're finding 2, in fact, and with the full ad, this should be an easy push for Froyo. Look, might even be caught. No, it is getting out. But yeah, with all the cap pressure, there just wasn't a lot of spam focusing the point, which could have drawn in way more picks and evened out that fight a lot. But yeah, it looks like maybe an IT Uber from Froyo. Oh, and Hubert! No!
Oh, you really felt like, I don't know, there are times that you think you have to use or you don't think you have to use, like, I don't know. I personally would drop there 10 times out of 10. Like,
oh, yeah.
What an angle from Kobe, and to hold it that late. Like, you know, you'd never expect the medic to play that aggressive, and also to thread the needle, right? Like, Hubert was surrounded by 2 or 3 other teammates, so insane reaction time out of Kobe. You know, he's one of those players that's so mechanically gifted, and we're seeing why.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Lorgai having Uber makes this fight a lot more comfortable because you can just pop it, as we see, and save your players, collect these picks. Hubert might be caught on this chase. Yeah, Zam bombing in behind quite deeply. There goes Hubert. There's a back cap. That is really the most pressing threat right now. And I don't know if anyone can actually stop Banny in time. Sai gonna be bombing. There is a spawner on last, so it's not going to be around for Froyotech, but that was a really good back half from Banny because it drew so many players back, and it gave Froyotech the opportunity to at least establish positioning on mid. Granted, it's still disad, they're still probably going to lose this mid, but when you lose a point, you'd rather that point be mid rather than your second into your last.
Right, and also even Banny like kind of almost like overcommitting, not really, because when you get a frag, someone's down for 20 seconds, right? But if you can draw 3 people back for 8 seconds each, that's almost better than a frag, right? So Bandy getting that back cap really well done, and then almost overcommitting to make sure that like Lol Guy here doesn't snowball this. But that being said, they do take the Aduber in a second.
Yes, Laz is quite weak in lobby, getting chased a little bit, but won't be going down. So just going to be a flip-flop. We're actually eating some spam there, but it's going to be okay. And this is definitely a more difficult point to dry push out of than something like mid. So yeah, we do see Froyo take lobby, they go lower lobby, and in all likelihood they're just gonna pop this through. They're trying to milk, but Zam is on bats as Soldier. Here comes Kobe, applying some pressure. Zam actually got dealt with very nicely there. Logan does die, traded out with Kobe. That is a way to push out that seems almost impossible if you're not Froyotech, but then Froyo just dry push out lower lobby and make it look like it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I've been seeing some like some plays out of Logan where he like kind of takes the matters into his own hands, and sometimes it's round winning for this Froyotech team anyway. But in times like this, I think you're already sort of in the driver's seat here, and things are going well, pushing out a second. So that death really slows them down here. I think they would have gotten mid if all players were left alive. Right now we have Lol Guy peeking with Psy Guy, peeking with Gungan, Speedy now. Basically the whole team is clearing the way for this sniper.
Yeah, and Habib Spy actually, who does get revealed, but I don't think anyone spotted it. Yeah, Habib Spy is really well positioned here, I gotta say. I don't know if... Oh, Lol Guy, that is just straight up unlucky, I'll say. He just happened to look behind as the Spy showed up. He didn't seem particularly Spy paranoid. Yeah, just didn't work out, which is unfortunate, because that's now a kill for the team sniping into second. Oh man, what a bomb there from Laz. Does get traded out, but still. Down 3 now for Froyo, no soldiers, which means they're down a lot of spam. If Logan has to reload, then players can kind of take space at their leisure, and will be Zam bombing in, landing on Hubert. A lot of damage on point, finds the kill onto Logan. That is a valuable trade. Froyo, oh man, they just run it down. They don't even take the exchange. Double Scout just finds Psy, and things have kind of reset there. That was looking like a game of chicken. Neither team really wanted to commit their Uber, but either of them maybe could have.
I love these plays where Habib and Bandy like turn up the heat. Both of them call like a "we are going" walk forward, and they both just unload everything and get the frags for it. Hubert finally grabs the flash onto Habib, so we're keeping all players alive. Habib, the first one to go down in this post, not bad. We're basically resetting here on second. It looks like neither team has much to show for it. Everyone just healing back up, building these Ubers. Weirdly, a 20 added for Hubert and a pick on a Kobe. Wait a second, this feels workable now. Zam, I think, knows it.
Finding a trade there is quite nice, actually, for Zam, because that's going to really temper the counter-aggression from Froyo. Now they're just kind of passively peeking rather than really trying to make something happen if they didn't lose Laz. And now we have Kobe on Spy, in fact. Is committing on the class. Curious about what the loadout's looking like. I see stock revolver, which I like, because that thing, like, I like using Latron J, but man, when you actually have to use the pistol, so we actually have a suspiciously timed pause here. When you actually have to use the pistol, man, nothing compares to stock. It's actually like a very underrated option, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if there are any Rogue fans in chat, I have a review of myself in a Highlander match where I just got destroyed by the spy, and my team was calling, "You have to spy check for yourself." I'm like, I am. I called it a spy time. I'm watching him decloak behind me, and then he 3-shots me with the revolver.
Yep.
That's just it. I don't know what else there is. So, yeah, I'm excited as well because, like you mentioned, just his aim is so already strong that. I mean, we saw last time, when Habib goes for that stab it was in sewer onto Lol Guy, right? But when you're surrounded by what was it, 4 or 5 players in that enclosed space. Hard to basically make it work with the spy. But hey, if you can catch the medic, alone, maybe with one other person, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not a foregone conclusion that the spy play works. I mean, a lot of people are going to predict that this is a pause after a round gets tied up and um, like a Froyo pause, but we really don't know because it could be anything. As far as taking shop of what the game state is like right now, obviously Kobe with a pretty decent spy timing. This isn't really a common spy point, I should add either. I mean, sniper is just so low commitment to run. You don't really lose that much by just having a sniper take pot shots from choke or from sewer. So the opportunity cost of running a class that has to get in and is basically guaranteed to die for one play, it's definitely kind of high. But that can favor... oh, never mind. He instantly gets revealed. I mean, this is kind of cloak and dagger diff, I'm going to be honest. Because... oh my god! He just bombs in and drops Hubert.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that might be drop number 6. Which,
God,
drops are always a factor of the 15. But yeah,
what do you think about it?
Yeah, it's but believe it or not, TF2 players can count that high. Thank you very much. Anyway, we now basically have this full ad from Law Guy, and yeah, this I think you might be right. If basically for everyone at home, pauses happen sort of 90 seconds in the future. Our broadcast here is 90 seconds in the past, so we'll see basically when that pause came through. Right now we have that kind of same setup, heavy in heaven. We have the gun looking over point, but this time taking the Uber through 1. So just ignoring the gun, ignoring the heavy.
Patty's actually not caught there, surprisingly. And Sai with a lot of damage through heaven. Hubert goes down, and so does Habib. Laz dies. 3 kills. I mean, if you can't convert a post-Uber where you get 3 kills into Laz, then you probably don't deserve to be in this division. And it will be Legacy tying things up. Oh, interesting. I'm being told that that pause was actually a Legacy tack pause, not a Froyo one. Usually you see the losing team throw out the pause just to try and, ice out the other team, stop momentum, but no, this time it's Legacy.
Yeah, let's see this mid 2. Oh, Zam just immediately goes down. I don't know what he was thinking, just that low HP. Yup, okay, disengage. I hope, was this the tactic? Is this the play? Well, we are in sort of the basically next round wins here, and all tied up a game with no round timer on the clock. So yeah, Legacy opting let's just get a good engage here. Patty actually kind of closing the gap early and going down for it.
Yeah, Habib maybe caught here in IT. It does go down. Laz gonna get chased out. 2 kills. It's definitely some cause for aggression from Legacy. Ooh, Zam quite low though. If he dies, then this might haul things off. But no, picks are being at least traded out. Cody is in as in can be as well on top of the point, making a lot of space, forcing Vanny to back up and look at him. And we have a proper fight here. Even footing for each team as far as positioning is concerned. That being said, picks are in the favor of Froyo. They have sooner spawners arriving. Actually, off of that, we see a little bit of a kite back from Legacy, but they're poking back in. I mean, an Uber exchange is not off the table. Zam gonna trade out with Logan. Valuable trade there. Speedy bombing in on choke. Gonna get ran out by Habib, so he won't find the Patty kill, but nice little dynamic fight there from Legacy. A little bit of we walk forward, we walk back, bait out some aggression, and then just go for it.
Man, Logan has been so good for this Froyotech roster. Like, it feels like it really takes a wind out of their sails when he's down. But here we go. Patty getting shoved off the foreground here, the most forward person. Habib trading back into Speedy, who was just really buying the space more than anything. Like, Speedy goes down, but it made 3 people back up to last. So, yeah, you take those. Here comes the point capture. Full even Ubers on both sides. Benny actually coming up with the gun straight onto point, but who's this? Wait a second, Kobe's in behind.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. Oh man. Well, I mean, Legacy now in the position to not only lead the game, but win it. Yeah, they've been behind the entire time. I expect we're going to see the pretty standard Froyo hold. Last time around, the one Uber with Psy flushing out Heaven ended up working out. This time they will take Lobby. Probably another 4 Uber. Habib is actually notably not in Heaven. There really isn't a Heaven presence outside of Laz. And the gun is actually getting spammed out from 5 before the Uber gets popped. Gets identified at least. Will go down now. And decent cap pressure. But Gungan goes down actually in the aftermath of the Soldier Bomb. They find 2 kills. Okay, it's 2 for 2 trade. Hubert only has 60%, but there is a heavy. So, yeah, I mean, if Legacy can get back in and that Banny pick might do it for them, then they might enjoy this fight. That being said, Laz and Patty both spawning in 3 seconds. Cap time is important. Hubert goes down before getting Uber. So much cap time. And Legacy on a nice little refight there. Banny over chasing in lobby goes down. And that's just enough of an impetus for Legacy to get in and end up winning the fight.
Wow, what a match. Yeah, there we go. A 3-2 for Legacy here on Process. Yeah, this was unreal. Honestly, it felt like Froyotech was the sort of the better team on this. Like, honestly, winning that many mids that strongly should win you the match. And we even saw Legacy, like, last push after last push, they couldn't figure it out. It felt like really their backs against the wall, but we'll pull up the logs in just a second, but yeah, those drops are absolutely brutal. I have a whole piece on this one, but then again, that being said, I saw like the number of redemptions of like the curse of Hubert in chat. He's out here like a voodoo doll, just getting absolutely skewered. But listen, I have a whole piece on that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, Rumpus, while I pull up the logs.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I don't think that there is an experience worse in TF2 than losing a game as a medic because you drop a lot. And I think that obviously there's many different factors at play here. You can't have your med drop 6 times and not have that be a large contributing factor, in my opinion. That being said, an interesting thing about these logs, in fact, is the demo stat lines, because normally scouts are the ones who get kills. They just kind of stand around and collect picks. It's just what the scouts do. Demo, you can find some kill opportunities with traps in particular, especially in those team fights, like your last pushes and last holds, you can find kills. But a lot of it is just spam. And the fact that both demos are the top frags for each team and the top frags in the entire server it's definitely noteworthy.
Yeah, both demos have the top damage and the top kills and are basically tied for bottom deaths. Like, actually even fewer deaths than Hubert each. But yeah, those are unreal stats. Both demos playing out of their minds. Like, basically I mentioned last night, like, you don't even need a lot of frags out of your demo. Like, very high damage and very low deaths, that's like the gold standard. But getting this many frags as well is going to go a long way. And yeah, I'd love to, I guess, take a second and kind of... Oh, or actually, wait, sorry. I see three picks from Lolguy on Medic there as well. Yeah, just kind of unreal stats here. Like, yeah, really felt like Froyotech had that. Even if I look at the mid fights. Yeah, Froyo won all 5 of the mid fights.
Yeah, and some of those were very confident as well.
And Froyo had more kills, more, let me see, basically even damage across both teams. Like, yeah, Froyo, it felt like should have won this game, even when Legacy, like I mentioned, was in position to push last and win it and couldn't seal the deal. Like, what was it, ballpark 5 odd times they pushed last without being able to capture. So it's not easy on Process. But anyway, yeah, really solid play out of Legacy to find those medic picks, right, and then to capitalize on them time after time.
Yeah, and I'm a little concerned now for Froyo's prospects against Mama's Boys, who should be a stronger team. And, I mean, you just gotta lock in, honestly. And I'm a little concerned for Hubert's sake, especially if, like, because, okay, to be clear, a handful of those drops just straight up weren't his fault. Like that dry push through upper IT, absolutely in no way is that like the Med's fault for dropping. And a lot of these milks, not necessarily his fault. However, there were enough drops there that he probably should have used that maybe he's in his own head. And I don't know if Hubert as a player is someone who can just flip that switch immediately and then just kind of forget about the previous map, I'm worried for Froyo's sake that he might be kind of dwelling on things. And I'm sure that the talking to from B probably not helping things on that front necessarily. Might just be a little bit more fuel to the fire. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. Like, I know all of the intellects and scholars in chat are like 6 drops bad, and of course it's bad, but at this level of TF2, like, the pop it, don't drop it mindset gets you into invite, but that same mindset loses you invite, right? Your Ubers are a function of the whole team saying, like, you know, if imagine if like Banny and whoever else is calling, like, we're going through here, don't use yet, wait for my call, and before they get in position, then suddenly there's a trap no one checked, or there's a sniper that wasn't called and Hubert drops. Like, it's on the whole team, and that's a good thing. Like, we want it to be, you know, done by committee in cases where the team can basically coordinate and play off it, right? So I don't know, I really love what I saw. Like, I like the idea of sticking to the call as Hubert, even though it's going poorly. You have to be that rock, I think, for your team and like still put your trust in them. Because if you start losing that trust, suddenly you're going to be forcing way out of position. And now your team's like, well, I can't do anything with this. This is almost worse than dropping, right?
Yeah, true. And I mean, it doesn't help when, like, well, I didn't actually have a coherent thought, even though I pretended like I did. Anyway, Mama's Boys, definitely a good team here. Undefeated, #1 team in Invite, and have beaten Froyotech at the start of the season. Now, granted, that was some time ago, and they did have a shaky game against Legacy, which was quite close, a 5-4 on Metalworks, which is not a sentence you say too often. But we just saw Legacy win against Froyo in a very close match, whereas they lost against Mama's Boys. So still, on paper, Mama's Boys looking like the potential favorites here, and especially since they didn't just lose a game, they're feeling fresh. I don't know how warm they're feeling necessarily. I presume they played a pre-game here, but maybe there was some downtime in the interim. But yeah, I mean, if they can hit the ground running, then I expect things are going to be going well for Mama's Boys.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. I think you put that really well. Like, so yeah, with Mama's Boys, excuse me, being undefeated here, like you mentioned, as for Froyotech, like, there's a lot you can adjust here, right? Like, we want to make sure we don't drop as much, or like when we do have Uber, what are we doing with it? All those things. But the kind of difference is, like, when you're on the back foot like that, you're spending so much time again on what didn't work, right? You're not focusing on, like, here's what we need to do to win on Snakewater. Here's what we need to do against this team, right? Like, you know, again, at this level of play, what you kind of have to do is almost like bully someone on the other team sometimes, win them on the psychological battle, right? Like, you know, do something crazy that maybe wins the round and then might win you the next one if the enemy team's arguing. So, yeah, I feel like this shaky mental is not quite a death sentence, but I think it's just very difficult to recover from and start fresh in this new match here against Froyotech versus Mama's Boys.
Yeah. On top of that as well, I mean, playing a doubleheader specifically, but just playing a match before another one, is really only useful insofar as you're getting some practice in, but it's very easy to, if you're like playing a scrim, for instance, I mean, you can try different things. It's very easy to compartmentalize what you're doing and maybe break habits or not be too worried about like being habitual and predictable. Whereas in a match, you're really serious and you're going to be very intentional about how you're playing things in a way to counter the other team. And if you're in that mindset and then suddenly another team joins the server, or you're on another map or something, then I don't know. I wonder if some element of you is still trying to play like the last game, and maybe it's going to be a little predictable. Maybe you're trying to force things and you don't have the same kind of clarity as you would otherwise.
Well, yeah, absolutely right. So I'll welcome anyone just joining us to the double header. This is head number 2 of 2. We have Mama's Boys versus Froyotech here at RGL 6's Season 18. This is the lead up to LAN, just 1 week away. We're going to be seeing, you know, the best of the best here in North America duke it out in Philadelphia for all the marbles. Anyway, we're bringing it to Snakewater. I am Rogue. This is Wild Rumpus, and I'm so excited to take you to this mid.
100%. Who do you have your eyes on this mid? because I've been seeing some very inspirational stuff from Laz on the mids, but I'm curious how things are going to shake up on Snakewater.
Right. I don't know. Logan's been playing like so sharp. I got my eyes on Logan for sure.
But yeah, we are rolling out now, and it will be a fun one no matter what. Looks like Chris will be going lower. Logan rolling out Saw. Either demo hitting each other. And just playing the spam game. So Habib is playing on the floor at the moment, just peeking across. So far, neither team has insta-bomb, so at least there's that. Jay playing on the floor, back towards Shed, just for some spam. At some point, one of these teams might just pull the trigger and send the double bomb. And it has not happened yet.
Yeah, this, not the exact same super dominant mid, but as I say it, wait, Froyotech finally sealing the deal here. A really quick 3K. And now Logan going down, Jay going down. The sign kill even from Logan. Amazing play from him time after time. Wait, look at him go. He's flying forward. Admin, he's doing it sideways. He's all the way into second here. This full ad for Hubert.
Yeah. I mean, that was not much of a mid until it was, in the sense that Froyo were just playing their positioning. Once Habib actually got established on height and wasn't contested, then everyone on Froyo just kind of walked forward and shot the same thing, found picks. So it looks like it's going to be a Shutter Uber potentially here. If High Five peek and lower, oh no, they're taking it lower. High Five was hiding around the corner and actually revealed himself with that shot rocket. I think he might have survived if he didn't shoot it. And that is a pick with the Uber. Point hasn't been pressured quite yet. We do have a heavy by Spawn getting landed on. That pressure comes in now. Jay bombing the point. But Froyo found 3 kills, make that 4. There will be, again, an early round for Froyotech.
Oh, I love that, like, you know, the conductor of that last push, like the music conductor, like saying like, all right, we're gonna like bomb, like high bomb into the heavy. We're gonna stop this push for 4 seconds. Everyone blast into the heavy. Then we're gonna continue, and it really pays off for them. So clinical, right? You know, getting that massive advantage on mid, healing everyone up, even getting caught out sort of with that again, crazy heavy play. Sorry, Soldier playing lower. Yeah, we got a game on our hands here for Froyo.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, this mid's looking a little similar, although we have a commit this time. So he's going to get landed on and killed with the double bomb plus commit from Habib, who finds Chris as well. Like being said, Froyo lose 3 combat for it. Ooh, and Vanny and Logan both may be caught here. Vanny actually behind High Five in window. What a splash rocket there. That was very well aimed to find the Vanny kill. I mean, I think that Hubert and Vanny are going down there anyway, but High Five at least got his. And with a late death on Hubert, that means Mama's Boy's going to have some slight ad here. And depending on how fast things go with the forward spawns and the rollout, they might be able to do something on second. Nah, not looking too likely. I think this will just be a relatively even-ish situation with a very slight ad for skis.
Yeah, I love those kinds of mids where it's like, we lost a med, time to sell out, and then you just win. Like, it works too well. Oh, but wait a second, they're dropping like flies, one after another.
What?
They went for this like quick peek and lower, but everyone from Froyo is like, fine, go ahead and peek us. We have weapons. They literally fire the projectiles and bullets.
Yeah, Bomo just straight ran in a way that just looked like a sniper sack to me. Maybe they were thinking they had time to establish positioning when they in fact didn't, but obviously things went catastrophically wrong. And now there's a bit of a spawn camp going on as 2 gets capped off. It's full dis at last. There isn't even a sentry gun. Slummish just now spawning engineer. Momo is still in these forwards on sniper, playing the long con. Does peek. Is at least occupying some time. Not that it really matters as far as the Uber margins are concerned, for it can take all the time they need. But at least the gun's level 2. At least there's a semblance of a hold here on last. And yeah, Uber gets popped.
This, let's see, level 2 here from Slumnish. Wait, the Uber from Hubert, the Huber, if you will, is over pretty quick. Yeah, like taking it from lower there, like it kind of works, but you have to spend so much time closing the distance, and you're not really near the frags, right? You're just near the point after all that. Laz and Logan getting taken out as like the late picks. Bandy's stuck in behind enemy lines. That honestly is such a godsend. Like he's going to distract them long enough for the rest of Froyotech to, you know, get their pieces, get their ducks in a row, because yeah, look, he brought 4 back to last. Oh my goodness, it gets the frag. Wait,
wow.
He's a menace, man.
That is crazy. And Chris is actually behind and lower. Set up a trap but got spotted. So now there's a demo stuck behind. Probably dying. And if Chris dies late and gets no value, then that might just be a round. He's going to be sinking on the point. Ooh, there's a big collapse here happening, in fact. Hubert does go down. It was just Hubert and Habib. Habib's running to last, but High Five is a spawner. High Five doesn't even need to necessarily win this fight. He just needs to delay it long enough. Okay, does win it. It's going to be nice. Did just need to delay it long enough for the cap on 2, which actually would have been a bit of an ask because the fight on 2 is pretty crazy. It's kind of tough to get bodies on point. But nonetheless, Mama's Boys kind of out of the weeds here. It's even Ubers. They have 2 kills. Both meds just spawned. But yeah, they've been getting bitten a little bit by just going crazy in positions similar to this. Since they're on their own second, I expect them to cool off a little bit. But yeah, regrouping is definitely going to benefit them.
Yeah, these even Ubers, okay, now Froyotech is kind of going for the early peak, right? Like, can we catch someone off guard, right? But last time we saw this on the, you know, the role reversal, basically, where the Mama's Boys were going for this peak through lower, and it did not go well. Here for Froyo, though, Patty gets trapped out, has to leave for it, and does go down.
Oh, and Chris actually bombing lower. Gets a lot of damage on Logan on the way out, and finds the kill. What an aggressive play from Chris, working out perfectly. Oh, and Hubert, yeah, they're taking this exchange. It will be an Uber exchange. Danny maybe trying to find a time behind now. He does. Gets spotted by Chris. I don't know why Chris is choosing to take the Demo V Scout 1v1. But honestly, I mean, if he can stop 2, then okay. I mean, he died, hit the pipe, stop 2. Given that Froyo basically wiped on the front lines and Skis is alive, means that honestly, decent value. And we do see mid get capped off, deny 3 players. Down 2, you still have to be at least cognizant of the threats that Froyo might have in these 2 soldiers. But yeah, with all 3 spotted in front, it is a straightforward push.
I'm interested to see this. Let's see. Actually, it's only 20% now. The Babo ad here. Yeah, let's see. This last hold, Banny has the sentry gun up. Logan trapping the point. I really like when a team like Hard stacks one side of last, because like you can have your players back out. Like if they commit to you, then you can leave through spawn. If they don't commit to you, you have a really great engage, right? So let's see. They are coming shutter.
Yeah, Uber gets popped. Gun gets spotted, but isn't focused down quite yet from Chris. It's actually the scout finding that kill. But Habib dies in the Uber. Okay, good cap time as well. However, Hubert finding the time to get that Uber does pop it. It's 3 kills with Froyo's Uber, but High Five on point. Juggles Banny, and Jay bombs in. So much damage from the 2 soldiers. Wow, Froyo got so preoccupied with the chase, they thought it was a foregone conclusion that they had held because they got Uber. They didn't realize that the cap time could be ticked a little further by High Five, and then Jay bombing point was just enough to get it.
Yeah, really nice play there on the last by Jay. You know, Jay is a player that is so beloved here in TF2, and is showing why. Like that, what was it? You know, 3 frags and 2 rockets there to win the round. Here, all tied up 1-1 on Snakewater.
Absolutely, and on this mid, we actually see more aggression from Mama's Boys than we have on the prior ones. Chris actually crossing point, finding Logan there with Bomo. And yeah, confident mid, Patty caught on the way out. A lot of players quite weak here. Habib forced back to last. Oh my god, Chris with another bomb just sticky piping Banny. Man, Chris is another one of those players who, like Lol Guy, you just don't really know if their pocket pick on the off class, or the class they don't main, is actually legit or not. And I mean, he plays it very crazy. I mean, he's been bombing players, like bombing scouts and demos, but finding the kills. So I mean, if it works, it works.
And this is like I can't believe that cyberbullying we just witnessed. Not to be confused with the regular bullying, which you get to enjoy on land. Next week in Philadelphia, But Froyotech basically chasing Hubert all the way back to spawn and like committing 4 players to it and finally get that force. Like they were still capping mid, but wait a second, who's standing on the spy? Does not get gets caught
that's
up.
That's a risky play though, because now you just have a kill with this Uber. Gun does go down. Uber's gonna stay on the same side, it looks like, or at least Chris is gonna be holding down the spawn. But Habib gets through, finds the kill onto Chris. Good cap time, but very holdable from Froyo. Some spam on the point, finds 2 more kills. This really is anyone's push. Banny is now spawned. High Five will be bombing across. Decent rockets. Slimish, however, dies on point. And now Hubert getting Uber certainly will hold the last. And with Skis and Bomo both caught. Oh man, Jay getting crazy. Trying to find a trade. Unable to do so. An unfortunate failed push there for Mama's Boys. Oh.
And High Five snatching defeat from the jaws of defeat. Just a quick send-off. Wish you were here. Like you guys are all in the resupply cabinet. I want to be there. Anyway, we have a 30 ad for Hubert here. Banny threw fast, and I love these plays. Like it's almost, you'd think like too far ahead of the team, but now it's kind of Jay calling like, oh god, they're coming. They're not really here yet. The rest of Froyotech finally through, but yeah, there's now no one here to stop them.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that this is going to be enough speed to push last with, but still, it's going to be 2 points that Froyo can take with this Uber, pretty standard. However, Ski's at 90% now, and with a sniper, they can slow things down just a little bit. Actually, they find a kill onto Laz, which is quite nice, and with Ubers evening out, they're going to re-aggress. Banny very weak, but does not go down to Slimish. High Five on the flank was not being watched. High Five took the opportunity to get that force. However, it's an exchange, and a bad one at that for Mama's Boys. They are down 3. Bomo commits out of spawn on Sniper. Not the easiest class to defend your medic with, as Froyo almost certainly going to get the 2nd point here.
Yeah, you really like have to feel for Skis on that one, because like he spent so much focus saving Chris that he didn't think to save Slemnish there, right? Like Slemnish is like, are we ready to go? But Chris is getting juggled left from right. So yeah, it's a really tough call to make there. Like it was a better Uber, but they just, I don't know, got kind of tripped on their shoelaces there, huh?
Yeah, at least things are even. So we're gonna see some Snakewater last action, or lack thereof, depending on your perspective. We do have Habib actually on Spy, gonna be rolling out now. Gets in through lower, seems to be playing a Cloak and Dagger Spy right now. Logan dies, however. That honestly, like sometimes when something like that happens, it actually opens up your Spy in a way that you don't really want to choose to do, but you can still benefit from it. As the attempted counter sack not doing too much, but now he'd be definitely in position to decloak. All it took was a sack and a counter sack. Goes for it now, finds the engineer and the sap, and probably dies for it. Nope.
Yeah, I like that the pick on the engineer. Really, we're back in 2009. Some things never change. Well, even Habib is enjoying that. Oh, I love, like, I'm so glad there's an alt chat. I wish other sports had that you could directly talk to your opponents. But anyway, Hubert with this full ad, we really feeling the energy here. Let's see what they have to show for it.
Yeah, full ad. There is a gun built. Right, they have the entrance and the exit from evens to get the med out of there. Not gonna, in all likelihood, make any difference here. It's looking like a pretty standard shutter. No, not a shutter either. In fact, they go through drop down. Not really any different, just for the flavor of things. So Uber does end on the same side. High Five actually getting body blocked, however, does go down. And Jay being the only soldier finds a kill, but a little too weak to commit and does go down. There's now no soldiers for the blue team. But those picks did get traded out. Bomo so weak. And down goes Skis. There's a demo on point trapping himself off. Yeah, it's gonna end up being a 2-1 game.
Ooh, that I so love watching the Skis gameplay here, where at a certain point as medic, like you only heal 25 health per second. Your teammates can deal like 100 damage per second, or maybe like 80 or something, right? So the over under is like it's better for you to take damage than for your teammates to take damage if we think everyone might die. So Ski's there basically saying, wait, everyone's reloading, I'm going to charge forward and bait their shots, and did. However, just the deck was too stacked for Froyotech at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Froyo in the lead yet again as we enter our 4th mid here. Slunish running across on height. Logan now with Stickies reloaded, gonna try and deny that. The double bomb comes across. Not the best serve from Skis from the Patty bomb, I believe. No, from the last bomb, so it will be Patty cleaning up. However, on the other side of the map, collapse going decently well for Mama's Boys. I mean, they find Hubert, they find Logan and Fanny, and yeah, they're gonna end up narrowly winning this mid. That being said, of course, both medics died, so mid is probably all they're gonna get here. But still, I mean, that's what they were fighting for.
It's great to see now, like we mentioned in the last game, that honestly, if Froyotech didn't win literally every one of the 5 mid fights, we'd see a very different game. It's great to see. I think Froyo is still in the driver's seat here, even though, I don't know, maybe we're about even on the mid fights if I remember right. Yeah, that seems right. So yeah, Froyo is just like very comfortable on this map. Playing sharp, like, you know, has the aggressive plays, has the defense down, you know, the mid fights, the Ubers, the Hubers, yeah, I like what we're seeing out of them compared to what we saw in map number 1 tonight in the doubleheader and also last night. So yeah, it sort of feels to me like the Mama's Boys here are warming into this match. So I think they're understanding, like, here's what's working, here's what's not. So let's see if they're able to convert that into a round win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even Ubers now. Time for the sack. Looks like it's going to be some saw pressure in all likelihood. Patty getting some nice damage on Jay. Going to slow things down for a bit. It will be high 5 bombing through. Threatening to go behind, but Bomo dies to a trap, so they just call it off. Okay. Bit of a wasted opportunity there. Logan with a nice pick. And now Froyo with some pretty aggressive pressure through lower. Laz actually getting through and getting behind. We'll regroup with the team. High 5 bombing around. Laz recommitting, finds a trade onto the demo. Okay. See what Patty might die here and saw. Yeah, that will shut down that attempt. And our Mama's Boy's gonna pressure despite being down a demo. Alright, looks like they do in fact, and they get decent damage onto Habib. Bomb in now from Jay, lands on Hubert, finds a good rocket there. Oh, Hubert with the force. I think another version of him on another map might have dropped that rocket, but Hubert is locked in now, so he got the force rather than the drop. Definitely not good for Froyo by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not just like instantaneous loss catastrophe. It's more of a, we get to set up this add-on too, and if we build really well, then we'll get Uber in the post on last.
Right, this and I love this play on you know, basically when you're holding second defensively, you get this nice kind of high ground where you can leave anytime. Beep on the sniper, who's gonna find a nice shot on Chris. No, Demo Man means the doors are a little more free to peek here, especially from the high ground.
Yeah, I expect Mama's Boys are definitely gonna stop here. Now, if Logan, or excuse me, not Logan, if Chris lived there and they pushed into 2 pretty quickly, then we might see a fast Uber through lower or something, trying to push the pace, but yeah, that 20-ish ad not going to end up getting played, of course, as we don't have anyone going back to spawn to switch off. We actually have Bomo hard committed here, and what I can only imagine is a sniper sack. Does end up being a double. We find Logan with a double. No, it's actually a triple. In fact, I didn't see high 5 was in. Triple sack for the demo. Not the greatest value, but honestly, could be worse. And they are baiting this exchange. Slumdish holding bridge close. Skis playing close. So they're happy to make some craziness happen here. As yes, we do see Bomo spawn up sniper after that sack.
This it's interesting. Yeah, Habib now getting aggressive as a sniper. At first playing defense, right? Like, we get too aggressive, you pick them off early. Now, like, okay, there's a little bit of downtime here. Let's see if we can make an advantage for our team. But a quick rotate into Shutter here. Actually, not quite into Shutter. Just bot mode playing this longer angle, getting ready for whatever peak he fancies.
Yep, gonna be peeking Shutter as well. It's actually the defensive sniper finding the first shot. Gonna be a headshot onto Chris. No kill because he's buffed. But yeah, I mean, sniper versus sniper on Snakewater last. Oh, Habib's actually playing what I think is maybe the least fair angle in the entire game, where you just get to play this one-way window in spawn against what would otherwise be like a, I guess, mediocre sniper peek. Man, that thing is complete BS. But yeah, I mean, Snakewater last.
Yeah, this it's funny. I keep seeing Chris here peeking, and yeah, okay, that's why it's funny. It's hilarious, even. What an epic prank going down for it. That's why I'm like, normally you don't peek the demo. I mentioned this recently. Like, I kind of like the ways that demos are peeking and drawing the fire to let your soldiers go through another door. This is not that. It's just peeking a sniper's demo man.
Yeah, notably, Skis there actually milked on like 15 HP. And that's why he's the GOAT. But yeah, still just sniper v sniper. Now, minute 30 left, we might see something happen. I mean, honestly, if I'm Mama's Boys and I'm not nearly good enough or smart enough to be on Mama's Boys, but I feel like just having Bomo go for a hero shot and then 4-manning is decent. They instead go the 3-man route and preserve the sniper. Nope, Bomo does go. So, goes for the hero shot afterwards. Hubert is well positioned here. It's a bit of a late death from Bomo, but nonetheless, still is a 4-man. And I actually kind of like that delayed sniper death, or rather just a delayed someone death, because the real threat with a 4-man is that you get everyone denied and then give up the point, or give up mid rather. But if you can stall them just a little bit, then that's really not a possibility. So we see basically everyone up here for mid. Laz might be in trouble.
Yeah, this, oh, a quick pick action on Habib. It felt like Habib had so much initiative there that the rest of Froyo could have followed, but again, sort of running like counter interference there, Jay in lobby, and look at both scouts, Spotman and Slemnish working their way outside already. Now ready to engage on the second 6 versus 5.
Yeah, Uber getting popped here from Froyotech. Nice milk from Skis, so Vanny actually doing his patented go behind right now, and there is no, oh man. Basically everyone on Froyo just went behind, and the post is working so well for them, in fact. See, a lot of the time when your Uber is so much better, you're like, yes, let's go forward and then cover the doors that they're trying to leave so we can kill them in all the doors that they leave. But if they don't try to leave through any of the doors, and you just walk further in, then sometimes you're setting yourself up for a sketchier post.
Yeah, and I think too, like, for the folks at home, you might not know just how damaging to the calls that is as well, because if you're the Mama's Boys here, like half of you are calling like, they're in front of us, walk forward, and that's how a bunch got stuck in Africa. Whoa, sorry, Skis is down real fast. So fast. But the other half of your team is calling like, hey, they're behind us, we have to back up. So like, when they are stuck in that indecision is when you thrive as Froyotech. So really well played out of Froyo, like you mentioned, that Spanish classic, and here's why it works so well to specifically disrupt the comms of the team that you're going for that like kind of wrap pinch crossfire play against.
Yep, gonna be 60 ad now for Hubert into last. So Froyo maybe positioned now to get a 3-1 lead. 7 minutes left in the map time, so that we're not gonna see the game end with this round if it gets scored, but definitely gonna make Froyo all the likelier to do so. Obviously, if you're Mama's Boys, you really don't want to let this slip from being a 1-round game. It looks like it might actually be a left Uber. Froyo just mixing things up.
This exchange coming in fast, and kind of like we mentioned, now you can rotate through spawns to the far side of point. However, Logan with really nice area denial. I think that's even like the description of the Demo Man class. Anyway, we have a lot of fights coming back and forth here, but bot mode on the very late heavy peak means that's so much HP to take down, and there comes the Uber out of Skis. Flashing Jay in, Hubert going down finally in the last second. Habib almost, honestly, I lost track of him for a second. It felt like that was a little promising, but anyway, a really nice salvage there from Mama's Boys.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to be able to hold from that position when you use, but the fact that they were able to find the Hubert kill and not give up the round for it with an overchase, very nice, and that's kind of exactly what they were looking for, second only to being able to hold without having to use. But nonetheless, going to be 30 ad now for Skis. Only a 60%. Curious to see if how they play this margin, because at the very least I'm expecting a peak and some pressure, but they might play a pop through. Things will be sketchy for a dry push, because if Froyo slow them down even a little bit, then it's just off the table. But no, it will be a pop through. Chris getting a little juggled, trying to catch the team off guard and lower, and actually one of the stickies got stuck on catwalk. I think if both stickies hit lower, Hubert would have been like single digits there or outright died. But nonetheless, does not happen. And Froyo now having Uber in a position to repop if they so choose.
Yeah, these like leapfrog Ubers are always like, you jump over my shoulders, I'll jump over yours, and then here they come using so far away and lower and like getting stuff. Wait a second, nice play out of Logan and getting Chris, but Chris getting Logan. Wait a second. Okay, equivalent exchange. We have now just the 3 players left on Mama's Boys going back all the way to second, holding that high ground. But they do have half here.
They do. Still, the Uber worked out quite well for Froyo, getting those 3 kills, because then rather than being a flip-flop on mid, you've now set yourself up for a flip-flop on the other team's second, basically getting an extra point. Well, as I say that, they didn't actually set up on second. They were pretty passive on the doors. And with Patty going down, now you might just lose mid to a dry push. We'll see if... okay, Chris wants to go lower, it looks like. Now, Hubert is at 90%, so if this fight goes even just a little bit longer, then we might see an exchange on point. High 5 dying probably solidifies that possibility. Yeah, it will be the blue team to use first, in fact, and it's looking like a better Uber for red. Patty does trade out at least, but oh, down 3 now for Mama's Boys, and they're gonna have to back up to last again. Only this time they don't have that same oh my, Logan.
Yeah, this I love this chaos, right? Like we've been going back and forth, you know, it's always so sharp as well. Like the tactics here, you're like, okay, we're in like a 4v4, but they're getting a spawner earlier, so do we stay, do we go? Even Skis, you're flying forward saying like, no, we're planting our flag in the sand here, and yeah, just charging forward here. Now suddenly it feels like we're getting a little bit of solace for the first time in a while. Things calming down, and we're going to take a little deep breath.
Yep, and Ubers are even. Doesn't appear to be any off classes. I don't think there would have been any off classes in this position either, because Logan was, I think, the only one to die. But nonetheless, looks like Danny wants to take lower, pressure that. It's a very easy door to pressure, make a plan around. And no, they don't like what they see, they back up. Maybe a little saw action now. Still plenty of time in the round, 3.5 minutes, basically just started, so yeah, Froyo had plenty of time to cook.
Yeah, these it tells a lot to me about a team of how they play these kind of stalemates, right? Like, you know, do you go for an off class? Do you peek all together, send one hero player in? Do you, like, you know, get ready for a more dry exchange, right? So anyway, Laz going into cheese all the way. High 5 kind of counter bombing. Wait, they're both behind each other. Slemnus getting destroyed here by Habib, but Habib goes down for it. Laz finally going down. The rest of Froyotech are peeking through. They got ground off this, but I don't know. I think with 4 players into 5, is that enough?
Patty is behind. Okay, we'll be getting out. Oh, and Jay found the time to get behind. Oh, but gets shut down. I really liked that timing, but it got dealt with very, very well by Banny. Because that was honestly baiting the fight. I mean, if Froyo were trying to go forward, then Jay was maybe making a misplay, but because he correctly anticipated... Oh, Lord. Because he correctly anticipated that backup, it worked out well. Meanwhile, on the front lines, Logan gets dropped in this Uber. Looks like Skis might be caught, maybe getting out. Bomo actually finds a kill after getting the skybox juggled by the stickies. Could have gotten out, but sort of recommit there. I mean, speaking of recommits, we have the refight fully here from Mama's Boys. 2 gets capped off, so last is a concern. And Habib, yeah, is on last, but just gets dealt with by Chris. And Hubert going down.
What a shot. Like, Jay, again, thread that needle real quick. Patty is alone into last. There's Skis. Does not get juggled. That's the classic. When the soldier is like going to shoot rockets at your feet behind you, just walk forward. And they're like, well, now what do I do, huh? Really well played. I feel like Skis is really getting all warmed up for LAN. But really well played, I think, out of Jay, really to be the hero to basically grab Hubert on the way in. So kind of made it sort of a non-issue at the get-go.
Yep. That being said, I mean, it is ad, of course, for Mama's Boys, but they've, for the past, like, 5 minutes plus, really just been holding on. They haven't really had mid convincingly for a long period of time. They've been mostly stuck on their own 2 back and forth. They're trying to dry push now, draw out 2 soldier bombs, find those 2 kills, but Slemish gets traded out. But Hubert caught the last one to leave the door in lower. Wow. What was a overall neutral Uber, getting 2 kills for the pop plus a pick, ended up being exactly what Mama's Boys needed in this position. As we're about to roll into overtime, if they can tie things up here, then it's really anyone's game.
Yeah, this about what is it, 30-ish ad, not quite here from Skis. A nice pick from Logan onto Jay. Like I feel like you're so what's the word, like it feels like you really had the wind in your sails for Mama's Boys here to kind of get aggressive in the last and go for an ad play here, but losing your 1 soldier is going to really take the wind out of your sails here, so they'll take it a little slower, but actually that being said, they might use right away.
Yeah, and Hubert's already at 80%, so they really need to find him specifically if they don't want to have to deal with an Uber in the post. They are certainly going to have to deal with an Uber in the post now, but they find a kill on the Patty, which is some nice compensation. Both soldiers, in fact, so point is probably pressurable. Yeah, Bomo just running right towards it. Unfortunately gets shut down before being, forcing players to walk on Chris's stickies, and that in all likelihood would force the Uber. So Hubert able to hold on to Uber while Froyo still holds the point, and now they're just trying to push out a last.
This full ad Uber, let's see, we have a quick pick onto Chris first. High five, going for like a fast re-engage. Honestly, that was like, it's such an interesting play, like he really would catch him off guard here. Wait, Ski's hard committing. We have Slemmer's going down, Papa going down, Ski's down. Jay is stuck in the enemy saw here. Wait, do they know? He's above Hubert, lands down, 1 rocket.
Oh man. Yeah, that was, I think, just Patty and Logan just completely nuking the door, and not only finding Skis, but I think Bomo as well. And yeah, now Froyo in a strong position, because again, they're not only up a round, but we are in overtime, so they really only need 1 more to win from this position, and they are in a great place to do so. I mean, we see 60 ad into last. It's comfy. They get to take all the time that they want. Both soldiers are just waddling around with those full crit heals. Gonna get big buffs here. And yeah.
Full ad coming in. Here it comes. Well, not full. There's already 65% on Babo there. But anyway, Patty getting juggled way up in the skybox. Everyone is so healthy on Froyotech here. Chris is very low. Habib gets the frag. High five going down. Bomb the last one on point. Gets enormous damage, honestly. To Logan. Wait, and Habib too. Bomb is unstoppable here.
97. He got Uber. Oh my god.
Unreal.
Just take your time, Bomo. There we go. Okay, it's a hold. Hubert, though, 50 ad now, and we might see a repeat push happen, in all honesty, because I don't know if Mama's Boys have any incentive to push out right now. At least they have more time to set up the hold, I guess. Maybe get a better gun up or something to that extent, but that was so close to just being over. The fact that, I think it was Bomo, or was it Slemnish, one of the scouts just able to survive on point was crazy there.
Yeah, that was Bomo, but well, let's see if we can do it again. Okay. Here comes the full ad push.
Yeah, Logan just dying to the gun, in fact. It was actually looking like Chris who was out of position, but no, was not the case, and that just immediately snuffs out the push. We have Jay still on Sniper. Might want to switch off. You're worried about a backcap. I mean, you're worried about so many things pushing out of last. To be honest, this sightline is not horrible, but yeah, it's going back now. It's just as Habib tries to shove lobby. Uber gets popped. There are Froyo players behind. Okay, Bomo's going to deal with Patty here. But now it's Habib behind in lobby. He gets spotted. He's going to get dealt with. So popping through, finding 3 kills. Honestly, you're more than happy with that. As Mama's Boys, you get to go forward. And Hubert actually not having Uber yet. You don't even have to worry about it being close on the door, doing something crazy.
Man, I'm, well, let's watch High Five and Jay here. Both soldiers, they get Laz. Okay, Slemnish in behind and gets Logan. Really nice play there. Banny, just enormous damage, spin back out. Now, Slemnish and Babo trying to head for the hills here. Maybe you're gonna just barely survive, especially with the speed boost, but they split up, yeah.
Yep. Unfortunate miscommunication there. Maybe would have been able to get out. It's honestly a tall ask anyway. But notably with those late deaths, I mean, this can just snowball into last. Again, Hubert doesn't have Uber, so, okay, yeah. The fact that the door was held when it was peaked means that now Froyo are going to play their ad, so at least Skis and Slemish are going to spawn, at least players are going to get buffed, so there's going to be a hold on last, or an attempted one at least.
It's 85%. Let's see, the defense has a full level 3. They're kind of second mostly on their perspective right side, and Slemnish on the sniper. You hope to get that one god shot and then, like, from the long range, right? And then switch off to scout for the close range. Let's see.
Yeah, gun does go down as the Uber crosses. You have Banny in the corner on point. That's a lot of cap time. That might be enough cap time to just win the game. Just so much collapse on point. Everyone in Froyo wants to be on it. Everyone on Mama's Boys wants to be on it. But the spam was just better in that small, localized spot for Mama's Boys that they're able to hold. And that was like a blink or you miss it Uber. Because Banny just got so much cap time, like all 11 other players in the server just reacted.
Yeah, I really love the way the soldiers played that, in particular on the side of Mama's Boys, because they went for sort of like a high bomb over their own mast, so they landed on it to deny the point, but they landed on it with such explosive damage, like sinking the rockets from the air, that, yeah, whoever was on point died, and whoever came near point, like, well, you have to deal with a big soldier.
That is an interesting play from Mama's Boy. It looks like one of two things happened there. Either Chris called for a use, didn't get used on, and had to fade back for the use after, which, as I say it now, is probably more likely. Or he intentionally bombed through lower without Uber just to fade back and draw out Froyo aggression. Excuse me. In either case, they find a kill. It's only one kill for the Uber, so nothing special. But at least they're sitting on Froyo's second. At least the ball is now in Froyo's court to try and do something with their ad, which, based on the sentry gun and the sniper, I think that Skis just got to use a free Uber there, because Froyo did not intend to push out with their ad.
Yeah, I always hate these, like, all right, guys, we have 30 ad on our own last. I'm not brave enough to take those, you know, I was going to say 9 times out of 10, but okay, more like 6 times out of 10 I don't take those, you know. You got to add a little, variety is the spice of life, you know. We're here to have fun at the end of the day, and boy, do I enjoy video games.
Yeah, absolutely. So we might see, Logan getting really pressured on the door. It does go down, but gets traded out with Chris. Patty, however, didn't realize that Jay was just behind him the whole time. It is going to be a 3-man for 2 kills. Honestly, enough compensation that Froyo... Oh, wow. And again, Mama's Boy's doing the same thing again. Just like, they... And this is a strat that we've seen, honestly, pioneered more so from Froyo than other teams. You just send more sacks than the other team is expecting, such that they kind of feel obligated to push, or at least obligated to pressure out. Only in Mama's Boy's case, they have these scouts holding so close, just ready to spring the trap. Because if a player maybe gets a little too cute, peeking lobby, thinking, it's fine, they're down 3, suddenly there's a full buff scout just running them down. So we do actually have Jay positioned here on Spy.
I love there's so much strategy for the defensive medic on last on Snakewater here. Like, you can get so close to certain doors and you can like reach the point from almost everywhere. So, oh wait, Chris is just full committing and forces Hubert.
Okay, yeah, the 4-man works. 4-man with a Spy sap there almost didn't work. It was literally down to Chris hitting his pipe, which he did, and Hubert honestly got a little, what a sniper timing there from Habib. Just immediately ran it down for a long sightline on mid. Kind of unfortunate to miss that shot, because that was definitely a heads-up play. So we actually have Banny building the gun on 2 now. I think it will get spotted and taken out. It is a level 1 gun. It's some damage onto Chris, who actually may have died without a flash. And no, gets dealt with. Now you know the other team had an engineer. You know they had a sniper. Just took your Uber. They don't have quite yet, so Mama's Boys should be pretty comfortable to at least set up this ad here at 2.
Anyone just joining us, we are here with Froyotech versus Mama's Boys, and the Mama's Boys right now are undefeated, 12-0 in the season. Froyotech has had a sort of uphill battle, losing not just the match before this tonight, but also their match last night against Legacy. So we now, wait a second, a crazy play, charging in, bot mode just going down real fast. All right, just having a little fun with it. But anyway, this is an underdog match for Froyotech a little bit, so let's see if they have what it takes to even up the score.
Yep, and I think I know what class Bomo is spawning on here. Oh, color me shocked. Yeah, man. It's understandable to just, like, I get why sniper sacks happen, because you want a sniper, but, like, isn't it at least, like, polite to do a normal, like, at least pressure or do something before your scout just suicides in? Like, I don't know, just for the formality of it.
Yeah, I also feel like if you walk back to spawn, they don't know you died and could switch. So, I don't know, they have to be like counting who's wearing what hat and what door for how much time, which they're not. So, yeah, I like the idea of walking back to spawn, but usually that's more of a spy play, yeah.
Well, we do have the Sniper v Sniper now. Last time around, didn't, well, it sort of worked out, but also sort of didn't. We had the 4-man, I think, got the... No, 4-man didn't get the force. But the late Bomo death was enough to kind of keep Froyo at bay, that they weren't able to fight mid. They tried to, and it went poorly. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen here. I expect to see another 4-man at some point, because, again, I mean, these sniper plays in the last are extremely low commitment and very easy to do. So that's why a lot of teams say, like, hey, you know, what if, right? It doesn't really cost us much. But at the same time, they aren't super high percentage, especially when teams know how to play against it.
This, let's see, high five going for the kind of wider angle here through the door, not finding anything. The doors are trapped. Oh, a quick shot there. Not finding anything yet from bot mode. But there we go, a really nice, like, Chris basically trapping out that door, getting the counter bomb from Laz. So 6v5, but you have a sniper, so it's not that great.
Yep. A minute left at this point. So you have to wonder if there's going to be a hero shot coming in, maybe a sack wave. High five does make space through the door, but Chris gets headshot and down goes high five. And suddenly, Mama's Boys end up 3-manning, but, like, really didn't have even one proper sack attempt there. But, like, the previous wave was almost there. I mean, high five bombed through, made some things happen, but then a guy got picked and another guy got picked, neither of which sacked. And yeah, at the very least, I mean, they were looking to potentially 3-man or 4-man anyway, just to reset the clock, so they're kind of happy with this. And what a spoon from high five gonna open things up here on second.
Onto Logan as well, like the demo man is the one who's locking out these doors. Now we're getting collapsed on completely. Jay forces out the Uber from Hubert. Slemish and Babo, Chris all working their way across bridge here. They've worked all the way in. They're just charging forward towards Hubert. Hubert down, now they're cleaning up in lobby.
Oh, Habib is in lobby on Sniper. Oh man, I mean, that, you kind of need to kill Skis there for that to be worth it. Fortunately, Skis dies anyway, Laz just finding a nice little timing there through lobby. So, Froyo probably going to be... Well, honestly, knowing Froyo, I expect maybe a fight here. Hubert is spawned, Skis is not. So, with that spawn advantage, yeah, they are... Oh, no, actually, a little surprising. Maybe uncharacteristic. I was expecting to see a fight there on 2. But anyway, not really enough at this point for Froyo to push out on. Close to... evens, like 15-ish, 20 ad. Not really something you can push out of Snakewater last with. As Bomo on Sniper again.
Yeah, this 30-ish ad for Hubert is definitely not enough to push out, especially when the enemy team was like all set up in lobby. They have the sniper. Let's see, where is Bomo going? This time in drop down, or well, there's not really much of a drop down anymore. Now it's just like a kind of regular walkway. But now peeking through lower, and I do really like the way that Froyotech has been playing this last point with the dispenser, playing the medic on the low ground. Very different from the way that we've seen Mama's Boys play last, where they play much more passive last, where they go off the rotates, basically, choosing one side of the point to stack, right? So Froyotech sort of choking up on the bat here, spamming out the doors, making a lot of room for Habib as well. Habib can choose any doorway here and go for a shot and then back up. There it is. Another genius call by me.
Oh, and Uber actually chosen to get popped here from Skis. Was maybe expecting more of a lobby shove than just Patty. It didn't seem like anyone was in particular danger of dying, least of all Skis. But yeah, just made the value call, and Chris actually dying in lobby. It's not looking quite bad. However, Elmo has what I would say a really nice spy timing as a little silver lining, at least.
This full ad from Hubert, it feels so good, but can he stuck in this low ground? He goes so low, and it does get the Uber off. Really nice play. The reaction timing's out of Hubert, fantastic. The timing from Jay as well, I don't know, it's just so sketchy, I guess, getting him ready to lower, but now
spy is so much better, yeah, because you're just not expecting this at all. So much patience as well. Is he gonna pull out the pistol? Things don't line up for a stab, and in fact, things not going great for Mama's Boys. It's just Skis and Slemish getting forced. Man, things could have been so fantastic there. I think if they just pump the brakes a little bit, because your spy's on Cloak and Dagger, there really isn't a rush. You know that in all likelihood, Hubert is going to be leaving bats. Someone's going to be leaving bats. You can get that stab. You can dry push into second as Mama's Boys get a kill with the spy and transition that momentum into last. But now they just keep losing players.
Yeah, I've lost track how long we've been in this overtime round here. Basically, if Froyo wins it, they win the whole thing, the whole match, and if Mama's Boys wins it, we go to the real overtime. But with that being said, we have barely a 10% ad for Hubert, so another chance to peek into last, see what you find. Hope that this exchange is the one that wins you the round, but they're so fast!
Yeah, Skis is going to be getting Uber, so at least it's a hold in the meantime until we see a post-Uber fight. High Five going down is not great. At least gets traded out with Laz. Banny dying. Okay, positioning not great from either team. They're both just fighting for this little bowl in the middle. Logan trying to walk forward, find some damage on the Skis. Hits a pipe, but no one can follow up on that. And with one extra kill, and also just kind of feeling some momentum, Mama's Boys are going to be peeking out to 2 here. Patty going through Africa. He's actually getting a lot of damage on Chris, but might be overstaying his welcome. Last in high, landing in now, but this double soldier play gets no value. And now Mama's Boys well, maybe I spoke too soon, as now Banny is in, eats a meaty rocket. And Hubert actually died for that play that Banny made. So yeah, things are looking quite comfortable for Mama's Boys. Banny is behind. He's gonna want to do a backcat play, kill a spawn, or something to that effect. And Mama's Boys are actually kind of taking the bait. They are just sending back the combo for Banny. Ended up not mattering, as Bomo in all likelihood would have just won the 1v1. But still, I mean, you're comfy. Hubert just spawned, so full add into mid.
I do want to commend Froyotech. People see oh yes, that push in the last didn't work, so it must be bad. But again, not quite the case. Froyo was so ready to go quickly, and that was, oh wait, sorry, Skis gets forced real, it's so immediately when he peeks out the door. Laz kind of went over the roof there, but Froyo loses a lot, so okay, yeah. Hubert has that, but basically the second capture is going to come down. But anyway, when you push into last extra fast, that was when the gun didn't get fully leveled up, so the engineer was kind of just a sitting duck, right? So when Froyo pushed into last, I think that was actually a really good play that had high expected value. It just happened to not work out.
Well, we do have Froyo on last with ad this time. High Five going down might incentivize them to push out, and in fact, they go quite fast through the other side of the lobby. Really like that pace. They're going to find 3 for it in all likelihood. Jay is really looking for a trade realistically. Unable to find anything more than a rocket on Hubert. The Ski's already at 80%. It's building quite well, so we can see some re-aggression from Mama's Boys. Chris is here now. Jay is dead, so the flank's going to be a little weak, something to be mindful of. But they can maybe peek anyway. Looks like they want to go out window. No, Chris decides to just go out through lower. Definitely a safer play than just full commit, dropping out window. Traps get spotted. They are now getting cleared, and no one in Froyo really in a position to deny this dry push. You see the bomb in from Laz landing on Chris. It's a decent surf and survives, okay. That's a kill into last if they want to pressure. Granted, things have pretty much evened out at this point, since that dry push was relatively slow. But, again, soldier kill on last.
Yeah, that was such like a middling fight. It felt like that, you know, it was so low action that yeah, it's almost like unceremonious for this to be the way the dominoes fall. But in any case, we're now getting back into that, you know, kind of smoother go here on last, where Benny's setting up that gun, getting the dispenser and lower. I've kind of loved, yeah, the way the team is playing around this dispenser. It's really helpful for the ammo and all that. Doesn't have to go back to spawn. But yeah, let's see. Basically, we have. Oh yeah, the Slemnish sniper. We'll see which angle he wants to take.
Yep, at the moment, just seeing if anyone overpeaks lobby. Logan actually will. Okay, did have to cross the sight line, but I'm pretty sure that Logan saw that Slemnish was on sniper. Appears to be playing it as though there is a sniper. Oh no, is going for a peek into lobby. So maybe they don't know yet. But again, just sniper into last stuff. Habib was completely unaware, so I guess Logan didn't see Slemnish there. But again, you really only got the kill on the sniper, whose only real purpose is to prevent a door from being peeked, but that's a much more impactful kill onto Logan. Okay, now things are opening up, and the Uber just gets taken, but Promo just gets two-rocketed. Chris is dying as well. Skis is just out of there, which, honestly, fine decision to make, because you're just banking on the ability to re-push 2 with your ad and take it into last for a round. We'll see if that works out. Jay survived, which is quite nice, but now Habib's on the flank, probably getting this force. Yeah, this is where having that sniper instead of the scout, not so great of a situation. And in fact, might just be, no, shuts down Habib with the SMG. And that's 3 kills, so actually Mama's Boys, what was looking like a bad situation, might just be quite nice if they can establish some space on last quickly.
Yeah, Patty, oh, a nice shot from Slemnish. Slemnish really cleaning him up here. Jay getting that damage out onto Patty. Patty down to 20 HP. 20 again, a nice shot from Slemnish. The 5k on Sniper here.
Yeah, spawners are up, so Mama's Boys just back out. And honestly, well, I wouldn't blame Slemnish for staying sniper, considering that the only reason that his team is even in this position is because he's hit like 5 important headshots or kills. But the wise thing to do would be walk back and switch off, I think. But yeah, it's going to be ad now for Mama's Boys. They have a chance to even things out. They've been in this position before. Well, not this exact position with the sniper, but still in this position relative to Ubers. But hasn't worked out in the past. Okay, gun's going to go down. We have a sweeping Uber cutting a swath across the battlefield. They find a kill onto Patty, but Slemnish goes down. Again, only the sniper. Laz dies, however. Yeah, this is looking like a great Uber. In fact, they found Hubert and Habib in the midst of that. It's just Banny. Just going to catch a nice, cheeky little air pipe. And while it feels like the game is over with that round, it absolutely is not.
One more! This one's for the fans. To be honest, I feel like if... So Laz, like, bombed Slemnish there, which, like, okay, Slemnish on a 6k at that point, but I feel like if Laz got anyone other than the sniper, Froyo might be able to hold that last. It really felt like that kind of knife's edge of a, you know, which way that could have gone, but here we go. It's all or nothing here. Whoever caps the next round wins.
Absolutely, and like so many games before this, I am a little worried. As I say that, the double bomb does find skis. Yeah, they're finding more than just skis, I think. This will be going down. Let's see if 2 soldiers can find Hubert. Against the full Froyo combo, I don't think that's going to be happening, and in fact, they aren't even attempting it. Which makes sense. But yeah, something about, like, TF2, you have those just super long rounds, and in many cases, once that pressure has alleviated and like the round got scored and maybe the comeback looks possible, it's just mid to last. And granted, okay, Nice shot there. It does kind of make it much less likely this is a mid to last. And in fact, Froyo gonna slow down quite a bit. And in fact, they pop through. Okay, common plan against the sniper. Are they gonna find any picks? High Five is behind, so High Five probably gonna go down long term. If he can stay alive long enough for his team to pressure, and who knows?
There's also a big ad from Skis. Is Froyo going to get the cap time? I think they are. High Five is still back here on Hubert. Jay now on Hubert, but I don't think he's going to seal the deal. No. Wait. 7 HP?
Okay, the point gets capped, so you have to worry about back cap threats. Banny is spotted in lobby, and there are a bunch of Froyo players just kind of scurrying around. Banny does trade out, but I think those 3 players got spotted in the front, so as Mama's Boys, you might feel a little more comfortable. Granted, you're still down 2. So they might just wait for their spawners, and honestly, it would not shock me if Bomo just came up engineer. Because yes, you have plenty of ad to push out here, and it is a position where you should, in all likelihood, be comfortable to do that. But if it was not overtime, and if the stakes weren't this high, then that's a much easier decision to make. But if you mess up pushing out a Snakewater last in a even slightly sketchy situation, then the game would just be over.
This, let's see, actually, there's a lot of action going on here through this doorway. Habib going down first, and a full disengage, yep. Ooh, a teleporter entrance from bot mode. Wait a second, where does this go?
Yeah,
is that like
a little
fast
medic escape? Yeah.
I like that, yeah. They call the sack, like, Skis is lower, and then suddenly he's not at all. Great shot out of Jay. Patty going down. Losing the soldier is honestly a lot, I feel like, losing that spam, because...
Yeah. Personally,
yeah,
I kind of hate the idea of having Jay snipe on last while Slemish is just sitting on Scout. Because Scout really does, like, nothing here except make maybe, like, a fast exchange more tenable. Whereas a soldier does so much on this last. I guess, like, okay, yeah, Jay does switch to soldier, but also just, like, the opportunity cost of just, you can have Jay on soldier and still have the sniper. And Slemnish has proved his sniper is definitely hot tonight.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Banny's peeking this trap. Oh, please, Det, I beg you. Oh, there's no Det, all right. He lives for now. But that means Habiba gets to take this wide, long angle, knowing that they're not watching it super diligently.
Yep, we have a sniper drop down, and Jay just finds that kill. Nice little timing there. Banny a little weak as well. You see some soldier aggression from High Five. Does not overcommit, though. And last goes down. Finds Chris, though. Okay, down goes Banny. And again, I mean... in this position, if it was maybe 4 minutes left, you'd feel a lot more like, hey, let's push out off of these kills for Mama's Boys, but minute 30 left? Hey, we've held for 3 minutes, like, what's another one? Yeah, when that timer gets much closer, it's a lot easier to just... when the reset's more accessible, I guess, it's just more enticing.
Wow, I didn't think that would actually work, but Logan with the full buff, like, you know, being tanked by Hubert there, takes out the gun. So now Patty's swinging in wide, Banny's swinging in, they're losing players but getting so much ground. Banny's stuck in behind. Logan now on this locket load, if he gets one more shot, gets the gun again. But, you know, the sentry gun doesn't matter too much at the end of the day if you're not going to push as a result.
Yeah, so I think in this position, if they can either deny forward spawns or get a force on Hubert, then it's worth pushing out. And yeah, it seems to be more of the former. Potentially both. No, Hubert is meeting up with the spawners. So yeah, because Mama's Boys were able to deny forwards and take this even Ubers into mid, or at least attempt to, but Furrier's putting up quite a bit of resistance, actually. Bomo was very slow to switch off, so yeah, they actually get a little punished by that decision to push out while leaving the engineer behind, because they could have maybe taken mid there and been happy to avoid the reset, but here, I mean, it's really up in the air whether that reset was beneficial or not compared to just even Ubers on second.
Yeah, very, very good positioning out of Froyotech. Like, they held their ground, and the thing is about having, like, numbers this out on an even Uber, you have to flash fewer people to keep everyone healthy, so that exchange really is not that bad. quick pick from High Five onto Patty. So not going to initiate here in a second. Let's see if there's a counter sack. Looks like it might be Slumnish. No. Jay. No. High Five maybe. No. Basically nobody. So we'll leave it back out here. Wait for Patty to come back in the mix and do it all over again.
Absolutely. At this point, 2 minutes 45 left on the clock. Still plenty of round to be played. It's going to be both scouts taking space through lower. In fact, last bombing lower gets traded out with Slumnish. They're taking some space. That Chris so weak gets bombed and killed by Patty, who finds the pack actually and lives. Make that 4 kills for the Uber and 2 players on Froyo. And Mama's Boys have shown to be a little scared pushing out a last with ad. Now granted, this is full ad and all your spawners are up at the same time. You can get them all crit healed. So a push out is going to be a lot more understandable in this situation than the previous one in which they stayed. But they have J Sniper. Bomo switches to Engineer. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this play out of Skis because he survived with the Uber, but like having full out on your own last in overtime here, that is there's no way you push out of last, right? So I feel like it might have been stronger to save your players on second, but I don't know, it was kind of a sack play to force them early, and then they had not enough players left over. So anyway, Banny now on Sniper, thinking through lower. The shot from
Banny
Jay
was on
Banny.
Sniper. Yep, High Five trying to peek lower, but it is just being held. And yeah, I mean, Froyo haven't tried the Sniper yet, so it makes sense for them to be mixing things up, but that is a play that can be kind of slow. And I mean, Mama's Boys have already been in a position where they could basically choose to reset at their leisure. So as Froyo, you don't really like when your opponents can do that. You want to actually get the force in the round. So they definitely have to get creative on how to break this hold.
These full even Ubers. Next point wins. Mama's Boys are the favorites here, undefeated in the season. Will they be defeated here and now, leading into LAN? But wait a second, we have Banny in on Spy on the stock watch.
Yep, probably going to go for the decloak here as we see some pressure. Oh, Chris actually goes for the sap first. Okay, bomb in, does get the force. Okay, only 2 for the force as well. That was a very well executed sack from Froyo. But Slemish, very aggressive on the counter sack, so fast finds the counter pop onto Hubert. Does go down, but man, 2 really heads-up plays from both Banny and, Banny and Laz, and then Slemnish on the counter sack to find 2 back-to-back forces. That's the tough thing, is like you can pull off a really sick sack and get the force, but it doesn't matter if the opponents pull off like a really sick counter sack. As Habib and Banny both just feed in the door, as is in the skybox, maybe going down. Actually juggles Chris into lobby, finds 2 kills, good lord. And Mama's Boys with the gun on last. Are they going to push out here? That decision didn't really help them last time. And with minute 20 left, yeah, they say, nope. I'd rather wait a minute and 20 and then fight a mid than wait another 4 minutes before potentially getting pushed back to last again.
Yeah, this is a long one here, hitting that, 1 a.m. Eastern time, 2 a.m. time for our Nova Scotians, and here we have Banny yet again going in on the spy play on the stock watch.
Yeah, gun went down this time though, so Banny probably gonna go for a stab. Oh, but bumps Chris. Wait, Chris surely is aware. What the hell? Okay, Banny went for the stab, didn't get it. Trying to pistol down Skis, and the shutter was actually being held open by the engineer, which gave Banny the opportunity to hit Skis and spawn because he didn't resupply bind. But 2-for-1 trade for Froyo. I don't expect to see Mama's Boys push out of this. There's a heavy on top of point. There is an Uber in Skis' hands. So we might see a last-ditch exchange effort from Froyo, or they might just say, oh, they take it. We'll see. I mean, crazier things have happened. Skis actually milked a shot there that theoretically could have been a drop, I think. But, yeah, it's kind of what we expected to see out of this exchange. But it's worth pointing out that with the last round to tie things up, Froyo had a really, really dominant mid and basically wiped Mama's Boys. So yeah, you have to really be worried about this mid, I think, if you're Mama's Boys, because overall they've been give or take, but I think the mids that Froyo have won, they've won more confidently.
So far on this server, we have 5 players in the 100 points club. We have 2 players, both
man.
medics, in the 200 points club.
That is lovely.
Ooh, really,
going for the fish, and they find him. Okay, Skis does go down, but they're here to play. Banny wins the fight against Bomo, though. That is very consequential. However, Chris, finds 2, and it's a 1v1 versus Banny. Not really the player or class you want to be taking a 1v1 against as a demo. So Chris gonna jump out of there, and he's gonna take some cap time at least for the inevitable refight. And Chris is saying, hey, you're telling me where you are? I may as well take a little bit of spam damage on you for that play. So they kind of shake hands in that regard. And now we're gonna see the second mid fight as both teams roll out. It's actually Hubert on crits. So that could be what the game comes down to, is whether that crits play works out or not. Speed goes down. Hubert now 90%, quite close to getting, but the collapse is coming in. Oh, but both scouts go down for blue. This is looking very scary now. I don't even think Froyo needs to use crits. Okay, they do. Chris doesn't have stickies though, so Froyo are just free to chase this. But Banny's not finding the kill. Oh my god. The Skis caught. Probably, yeah. Spawners are here. Man, that is brutal. What a chase, though. I mean, just having one sticky there in Saw just stops that entirely, but unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, what a decision to take that crits basically in the post fight there. Also, man, there was a time where Jay sat in the enemy kitchen for something like 15 seconds. If he had stayed for 17 seconds instead, it was like, I think, just wins the fight on the spot almost. Yeah, crazy play from Hubert, and now with basically full crits ad going into last as well.
Yes. You see, this is the tough thing, is Hubert didn't pick up the gun, so it is crits ad, not Uber ad. So yeah, Bomo is actually just putting up an even Uber sentry, and Mama's Boys are holding this close in an even Uber's positioning, because you really don't want the other team to peek doors for free. Chris, of course, is playing much more passively. It's going to be a crits through lower, and yeah, Chris doing a nice job. Honestly, all 3 players are just spamming that door, and there goes the crits. That's why crits is so nice at times when it's not expected, but even after a crits wiping the other team, you just can't convert it into a round because the unlock certainly has its weaknesses.
And now let's see, this is the full ad for Babbo here. The shot from Jay real quick on Sniper, but look at how far back Froyotech is. They're like, yeah, we didn't nail that one.
There's no push out either from... So, okay, here's what you do, by the way, if you're Mama's Boys. And this I feel like I can say with some confidence. Just get a Pyro on, like, Slemnish or someone. Because at the very least, the Pyro can reflect the onslaught of crits you're going to have to deal with for the next 2.5 minutes. But also, if they peek a door like lower, you know the beam is at least close, and you can take a Pyro exchange into them. It just seems like a really valuable class to have here. But Slunish is still on Scout, so I think this round is going to come down to just a barrage of crits and whether they get any value against Mama's Boys.
Let's see, Logan peeking through Shutter. There comes the crits! But Skis is so close under the overhang here. Logan finding absolutely nothing. Laz solo, Logan solo. But actually Slimnish of all people is the collateral damage caught by a stray bullet there.
I mean, at what point do you just have Hubert go switch off, right? Because I actually think that would make sense. You have enough time to build the Uber. And then if you, for example, 4-man and get the force and the other team doesn't push out, they're going to expect you to have crits. They're going to be playing the doors close as though you have crits, and then they're just caught to the Uber and lose the entire game. And actually, no, the crits got used, so that's why Hubert's building. Because I feel like that makes more sense than just trying to bang your head against the wall and just rip crits that are very clearly not working. Because now minute 20 left. Now if you 4-man, then yeah, you won't have Uber in time. You're going to be stuck on crits, pushing into last even if you get the force. Just seems kind of short-sighted, I think.
And honestly, that was pretty crazy to me as well, where in the post-fight, like, Froyotech lost 3, and there's no crits, and yet Mama's Boys still did not push. They're, like, what bigger opening could you want?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Very obviously committing to holding last. So I think as Froyo, oh my god, Patty actually, maybe I spoke too soon, because that crits absolutely could have gotten the force. But, man, Skis was just like Neo in the Matrix there, just seeing and understanding which rockets were missing and just not using to them, despite the fact that they were crit rockets that would have instantly dropped him if they so much as got splash damage.
Yeah, this, we have, again, this sort of full ad, quote-unquote, from Skis. Oh, wait, a fast sack off Ubers. Here we go. Like, ahead of the crits anyway. This is a fun one here. 3 down.
Yeah, the desperation send. Now this time around, pushing out I think makes a little sense, and yeah, looks like High Five trying to get some cap time. Pushing out makes sense because pushing into mid against a team that you know has crits when you have Uber is a lot easier and safer than doing so out of last. So it's much more enticing to avoid the reset in that position, but again.
Now into mid-fight number, oh god, I don't even know what this is. Well, I guess 6? In any case, the score is 2-2. We're in now double overtime, and this is the undefeated Mama's Boys versus Froyotech, leading into LAN just next week in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Laz and Patty down.
This is looking really good for Mama's Boys. Banny is behind on 3 HP. Logan might be caught leaving here. Yeah, a little too weak to, well, wasn't too weak to jump, but ended up catching a little splash rocket and was so. And yeah, Mama's Boy's not giving Banny this 1v1 on mid, which is exactly what he wants, is just to delay that. Hubert lived, so it's evens on last at least, but with Banny behind, you are down a guy on last, and fastest bomb in High Five, just kind of assuming no gun, and they find the force. Okay, 2-man for the force, Banny is still behind. At this point, I mean, as Banny, you either find the perfect timing to get a force or something with a behind play, which might actually be happening here. Yeah, gets the force. Okay, are they going to find any value with the Uber? Chris is so weak, goes down. Bomo's so weak. No, they get nothing with the Uber. Yeah, maybe chat is right. Maybe nothing ever happens.
Welcome, chat, to yeah, this 2 versus 2 match where you're still in a coma. Please, you have to wake up. They're going to pull the plug on you and you don't have much time. Anyway, we have High Five going down. Habib and Banny working their way through Saw. We have an 80% ad on Hubert here, so right now Skis is up on second. We're going to have to see if they can sort of hold this high ground with the sniper as Bomo. Maybe he'll get that lucky pick. We'll see.
Yep, going to be scoped up towards Saw, which looks like Froyo wants to go. Okay. Will he find his mark, however, is the question. It's actually rotating the peak. Uber gets popped. Looks like Jay might be caught. He is able to just skirt out of there. Okay. Now here's the question. 70% Uber? Are we going to see a push out, or is Bomo going to switch to Engineer? No, he goes Engineer. You know? they know what's happening in chat as well. High Five with the LMFAO. Patty back to the lab again. Yeah, everyone understands that Mama's Boys, keep in mind, they're taking a risk by just making it so clear they don't intend to push out, because they are giving Froyo every opportunity to get the force. They're basically saying, you can never, under any circumstances, break our hold, so we're just going to let you try and not do anything about it and meet you on mid.
Yeah, this, even, you know, players are smacking the dispenser as non-engineers. You gotta, you know, find joy in the little things. Okay, even Ubers. Let's see what Hubert and Logan actually going towards this very far angle up top. There's the trap. Ooh, they don't dead on Logan, and Logan gets the gun.
Okay, gun downer. We're going to see a response from Froyo. Habib is through Drop down, but backs out. Laz died in lower. Rotating doors, however, but Jay is on it. And notably as well, shocked to see this is the first banner we've seen on Jay. Probably should have been seeing that like the entire game rather than just the solo sniper wasting everyone's time, if I can be a little blunt about it. But yeah, banner makes a lot of sense here because that's just a contingency plan. The offensive banner really, really good at breaking holds, but when it gets counteracted by that defensive banner. And Froyo have not pulled up with a banner yet. I mean, I gotta say, they just haven't been particularly creative into last, it seems.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of these, like, I do like the Logan plays going for the gun, but like kind of like you mentioned, Rumpus, right? Like they get the gun and then what? They kind of just sit on nothing, and you know, well, I hope they enjoy TF2 because boy, are we getting a lot of it. Here comes the Uber.
Yes, does get the gun, gets some cap time. Slemish actually a little out of position here, but at least finds a kill and a flash. Okay, so he will be living. Banner gets popped. We might see a push out with the banner and 3 kills, because you might be able to catch Hubert, in which case avoiding the reset, absolutely worthwhile. But look at this, they are allergic to the cap. They get on it now, which is actually a little surprising, because they're not denying anyone. So they're just taking second. Interesting decision there, because with a minute left, resetting, very achievable. So I'm actually a little surprised to see that Mama's Boys would prefer to be on second here rather than take a new mid-fight.
Same here, yeah. I really love this switch from Jay going to the banner, and there he goes as soon as I say it. Now, Patty, immediately, no thoughts, just instantly like a program to do so. But yeah, nice shot from High Five, left on 8 HP there.
Yeah, Danny gonna be finding that trade at least and getting aggressive in lobby. Finds Chris, and just like that, we're back to last. Hubert actually has some very slight ad here. Okay, if Banny just continued running through the shutter there, that might have come into play, but now will not. And look at us. We've been so many places, and yet it feels good to be back home, doesn't it?
Yeah, this, I was born on Snakewater and I will die on Snakewater. Here goes Laz. The first down. Second down is Logan. Losing the demo. Wait, third.
Okay, things are actually happening now. 3-man for the Force. Bandy's holding close. I feel like taking an Uber here that doesn't get value is like the only way. Okay, they're shoving into last. Can anyone stop the cap? No, they just get out-capped. Yeah, this is such a weird scenario. But I feel like taking an Uber there just and not getting value is the only way to like not get the round. Oh man,
but there's so many down.
There's kills, yeah. This is actually really good for Froyo. We're gonna see a heavy or something. Oh man, still needs to get 2 cap, but dying. Yikes! This might be how it ends. Okay, Danny played weak. Does die on point. It's all up to Chris. Oh wow.
There you have it. Hubert's awful game. Anyway, there you have it. Froyotech upset Mama's Boys, ending their undefeated streak. Mama's Boys now 12-1 after finally getting bested by Froyotech. What a game! They fought tooth and nail for this one, and you called it, Rumpus. Like there's only sort of 1 or 2 win conditions here, and Froyotech finally managed to capitalize on that momentum.
Yeah, and I gotta say, moral of the story, chat's not gonna like me for saying this, but when it's a minute left and you have 3 kills and it's even Ubers, just take the reset. Because keep in mind, it was that reset avoided that kind of came back around to lose Mama's Boys the game. Because again, I mean, when you're on your side of the map, the mistakes are just costlier. They have more likelihood to result in you losing a round, so yeah, I mean, they had the winning formula. They just wanted to go to bed instead.
Yeah, the winning formula is getting a good night's sleep, and no, but I actually thought that Jay on the banner was the adjustment they needed, right? Where they were pushing out a last, where they're like, oh hey, we can't really work off of like, even if we have ad, even if we have numbers ad, whatever. It really felt like there wasn't enough for them to work off of. But now that we got the like Jay pushing with the banner, it's like, hey, we can stay safe pushing at a last while, you know, pressing our advantage. So I thought that was a difference, but then he just got so far forward and died, and they got, yeah, that was like the first domino to fall, which ended up sealing the deal.
Yeah. As far as logs are concerned, these are actually like remarkably normal looking logs for the game I just watched. Like damage numbers seem relatively normal. And I was expecting to see like some players with like 80 or 90 kills with how long that was going, but I guess it was mostly stalemating, so not a lot of killing going back and forth in that kind of game state. But yeah, I don't know. There's this was definitely a showcase of continuous overtime, and I'm sure a lot of the Europeans are like chuckling at that prospect because it was a very long game. But I mean more so in the fact that it really highlighted the decisions that go towards whether you want to push out of last or intentionally avoid a reset or intentionally take a reset and things like that, and what kind of scenario you're expecting to walk away with compared to your expected value from a mid fight, and kind of weighing those options.
Right. And yeah, like, yeah, it's really, even looking at these like almost the same medic deaths, 0 drops on both teams. We have like, what was it? Yeah, 3 to 4 mid fights won. I mean, you know, like Banley and Slemnish playing really well on Scout, like, you know, kind of everyone holding their own, like almost the exact same number of kills, like 204 to 207, like within almost 1%. And then same for the damage, within 1% of damage as well. Like 8.3k to 8.4k, sorry, 83k to 84k. So yeah, it's just amazing to me how close this was, and it kind of shows at this level it's so much of the tactics, and kind of like you mentioned here, it was that final, like, not even the straw that broke the camel's back, but almost just like the single deciding factor was here, where Mama's Boy said, like, you know what, we can win this, and finally said, we're not going to play for the stalemate and reset another time, and that was what undid them.
Yep. Yeah, and maps like that, I mean, man, in my humble and personal opinion, I think the worst TF2 is not just like stalemate TF2. And in fact, when it's time to like break a last hold or something like that, as long as I'm, you know, with a competent team that I like playing with, then it's actually pretty enjoyable. But it's when you're stuck defensively in a position where you don't really want to take risks, or they just don't benefit you much, and the team that's pressuring, or the attacking team, is just not able to break. That's when it becomes like suffering, because you're just held captive kind of at the whims of how the other team chooses to pressure, or how creative they get with their sacks, or how risky they get with their sacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we now have quite a interesting LAN on our hands. What's LAN, you ask? I'm so glad you asked. We'll be in Philadelphia just next week. RGL LAN is happening with the top 4 invite teams duking it out for the North American Championship. We also have an open tournament. We have, if you type exclamation merch, you can buy merch for the LAN. You can buy also regular merch for RGL. It's very nice. I like it a lot. You can also like sort of do like a specifically like LAN supporter to help the teams get there, basically, and help like fund the event for the prize pool or for the operational costs. You can get things like item signatures, mentoring, RGL website, like alias colors and stuff like that. So there's so many ways to support the LAN, and we're so excited to put these teams on the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am excited to see the LAN matchups as well. We might see a long game at LAN, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless. And I had fun here as well. I mean, it's in the stalemates you get time to talk, and I love to babble, so that was nice. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else left for us here. A banger of a double header, Froyo winning one and losing one, and not really in the order that I think many people were expecting. But yeah, do we have any shout outs before signing off here?
Oh yeah, shout out Dolphin. Thank you so much for putting on a great show. Shout out Alto. I'm yeah, grateful for you to check in with us here in the casting booth. And yeah, I'm happy to see you, Rumpus. Thanks for being here with me. How about for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Shout outs to production, shout out to you, and shout outs to KJR. But yeah, that's all from us tonight. And yeah, I'm looking forward to not having to talk for a little bit. Yeah, hope you folks enjoyed. See you all later.